Zoe, where are you right now? When are you going to stop playing around out there and come back home? You're not out there doing something questionable behind our backs right now, correct? I'm sorry about that, Denise. A new customer and I were just getting carried away a bit too much with our talks. It'll only be another hour or so before I'm back to the company. You're saying another hour when it's already 5 p.m.? Hurry up and get back here. And now that I think about it, have you gone over to that Sid's construction firm yet today to wish them a Happy New Year? I did that over the phone today. You can't be doing something like that over the phone. That company's been around for ages and they do things the old-fashioned way. You go over to their company right now and wish them a Happy New Year in person. Well, if that's what you want, don't you think it'd be more acceptable if you went and saw them? They are a very important customer of ours, after all. Why should I have to go over there? Going around and talking to our customers is something a low-level employee like you should be doing. I'm far too specialized in my work to be dealing with company relations. All right, then. When I get back to you guys, I'll make an appointment to go and see them. Please do. And once you've done that, I'd like you to finish up on this month's financial documents and have them on my desk. Have you finished everything that has to do with the company's taxes yet? If we don't get those in soon, we'll be in big trouble. Just give me a little bit longer and I'll have all of that finished up. I plan to continue with that work the moment I get back to the office. Make sure not to dilly-dally anymore, okay? And at 6 p.m., you need to start preparing dinner, so don't forget that. I'd like to have some fish and vegetables for dinner tonight, so you can work on the company's taxes once you've gone and made dinner. And finish up cleaning the bathroom and doing the laundry before getting back to work. Denise, I only have one of me right now, okay? Having to do all the chores and cook and then come back and do office work all in a few hours? Please stop giving me so much work to do, all right? And what's the worst is that right now I'm going to have to do your job as well now. Well, you are my son's wife, so you're the one out of this whole family that has to be the most busy. There is no such thing as time to relax when you're a young wife. You knew that you would be joining a family that runs a company, so you should have been ready from the get-go to be working non-stop. So stop trying to act like this is all too much for you to handle now. But with the amount of things you're wanting me to do right now, it's getting a bit overwhelming. If you leave me with this much to do tonight, I won't be able to get all of it done. At the very least, can you handle scheduling that appointment for me to go and visit Sid's office? If not, I'll have to do all of that work on top of the financial paperwork and the taxes. Why are you trying so hard to get out of doing your job? You have experience in doing both office work and running a company, right? You told us before that you went from doing a lot of paper pushing to then working with running a business. It was because of all that experience you have that I allowed you to marry my son. I can see that now, but if you have the experience in both of those fields, then you should be doing both. Right now, this world doesn't have enough people in it with experience doing both those things. If we let you get off easily, then other employees in the company would begin to struggle. But I'm struggling right now. Stop complaining so much about your job. I was in the same boat as you back when I was your age, where I had to struggle a lot. It's your job as the wife to be struggling until the new wife is brought into the family. So stop wasting time complaining and just get back to work. Denise, I think that I'll be going back to my parents' house for a little bit tomorrow. So I'll be taking a little bit of time off work. I'm sorry. Excuse me? What's gotten into you that it's made you say something like that to me? I just got a call from my parents a moment ago, and it seems that my dad has fallen pretty badly. And after the fall, he had a lot of internal bleeding. And if I try leaving now, I won't be able to get on any plane to take me back, so I'll be leaving first thing tomorrow morning. He had some internal bleeding, and because of that, I'm a bit worried about his health, so I'd like to go back home and watch over him for a bit. And why do you think they need you back over there? It's not like your dad is dying or anything, right? I'm aware of that, but I'm still worried about him. Even if you're worried and want to go see him, nothing's going to change the situation for him. He'll be staying in the hospital for a little while, right? So you have nothing to worry about regarding him. You can go over there the day he dies, okay? Stop saying such heartless things like that, please. I understand that he's not dying, but he could still have something very bad that happens to him, which would make it likely for him to pass away. Well, until then, there's no reason for you to be going, right? You are going to be busy tomorrow. You stay right here and you will work your job tomorrow just like everyone else will. You have things that you have to do here, and that's all. What are you talking about, Denise? I will not allow you to go back to your parents' home. I'm not going over there to play around or anything, though. Are you telling me that even after my dad has had a bad fall, me going home to see him is unforgivable? In any normal company, they would allow me to take the time off to go and see my family. Well, that would be the case if you were any normal employee, but you're not, right? You're this family's youngest wife, and the youngest wife does not get such privileges. That right there is the stupidest excuse I have ever heard for you not letting me go to see my dad who's in the hospital. I know that I'm the new wife in your family, but I did not enter your family to become a slave to you and this company. You saying that it's all okay because I'm the young wife is really screwed up. Do you really think you're in the position to be acting on your own? You are the most ignorant wife I've ever seen. We have let you into this house, into this family, so you give your body and your time to us. That is the point of you becoming my son's wife, and you cannot break away from that. I'm not okay with any of that. If, per se, there was something that seriously happened to my dad that put him close to death, and you guys kept me from going away to see him before he passed away, I'd regret my life forever and ever. And so what? That all has nothing to do with me and my family. Nothing to do with you and your family? So you don't care about what happens to my dad, then? That's right. He's not my problem, and I couldn't care less about him. This company and my family do not have time to sit around due to some stranger dying. And I'm sure that your dad wishes that you'd just leave him alone and do your job here in my family and for the company. If you were just to go home and leave my family and the company, you would be the biggest disappointment ever for him, right? Well, I'm also worried about my mom right now. I feel that she's in shock now after having to see my dad, her husband, have that bad of a fall. And so as their daughter, it's my job to be back with them by their sides until things go back to normal. If your mother is that worked up over her husband falling over and getting a few cuts, then she's a huge pussy. Don't tell me that she's some kind of a housewife. Maybe if her husband leaves her now, she won't be able to do anything on her own. You stop talking bad about my mom right now. I don't have to talk kindly about your mother, Zoe. Now understand that I will not be allowing you to go back to your parents. That's the end of this discussion. You understand? Hey, where the hell are you right now? I have been looking for you all over the house and can't seem to find you anywhere here. Don't you dare tell me that you went back to your parents' house without my permission. I got on the first plane this morning, and I've already landed here and will be arriving at the hospital my dad is in here soon. I told you that I was not going to allow you to go back to your parents. You are not allowed to take off work just because your dad is having a little emergency. Who told you today that you could take the day off and go there? I didn't get anyone's permission to come home, and so that's why I left anyway. I couldn't waste my time any longer trying to get you to agree to let me come back here when my dad is in trouble. You are both an employee for this company and the wife in my family. You are only allowed to focus on my family and our company. Right now, you are showing me that you are not cut out to be a wife to my son or my family. Do you think after something like what you've just done, I'm ever going to let you do anything on your own again? When you get back here, I'm going to make sure you understand just how much you need to change in order to be treated like a human again. You don't have to worry about teaching me any lessons. I quit both my job at your company and my job as your son's wife. I left the divorce paperwork and my letter of resignation there for you all. Huh? What kind of bullcrap are you spewing out of that mouth of yours? I have had enough of that life. Having to live with you all and work for that company was far too much for me. So I'm going to act on how exhausted I've become there and come back to my family for good. Are you right in the head right now? You understand that right now is one of the most important and busy times for the company. Do you plan to make all of us here struggle due to your incompetence? I told you before that there are not many people around that have your experience and that we rely on you. So what? It's not my job to worry about not having anyone else to hire to do the work you forced me to do. Not having enough employees is something the business owners should be worried about, right? You're not taking any responsibility for what you've done? You have no place saying that to me. Ever since I married your son, I have had to work for your company nonstop. You heard that I had some experience working in and helping run a business, and that's what made you force me to have to keep up on customer relations and do all of the financial work for you. And on top of that, you've made sure that I do all the chores and cooking in the house. Yet even after all the work I've been forced to do, you guys are still worrying about work? Well, it's your job as the wife to do all of that work for us. That's it right there, Denise. Huh? I have been working long days and given up a lot of my sleep to get all of the work I've been forced to do done, and not once have any of you thanked me for that. And never have you guys seemed to be struggling yourselves, right? I'm not just talking about you either, Denise. I'm saying this about you, my husband, your husband. Well, I've had enough of that life there, and I've learned that it was wrong of me to stay with you all as long as I did. You were working in the hopes that we'd thank you for that? Stop trying to make yourself seem worthy of our thanks, okay? I've told you so many times now that it's your job as the wife to do all of the work. I can't believe that women these days think they don't have to work as much when they become a wife. Who is the real one here that is getting off easy? You have been giving me all of your work as well that you're supposed to be doing, and you pretty much don't have to make an effort to have your company run smoothly. I have seen you over there in your office plenty of times now, sitting behind that desk eating chips and sweets while you complain about the rest of us who are actually working. Is there even a reason for you to be a part of this company anymore? Because as far as I can tell, you are just taking up valuable space in the office. Not me, but you are the one that's not taking any responsibility for what you've been doing. I've heard enough of that crap from you today, Zoe. I am the one that owns the company, and so I can do whatever I want as long as you do my work. So is that the reason why not enough people are working in the company? I think in your case, calling you a manager or boss is only a name at this point and nothing else. You could never do any of the work you're supposed to, and that's why you force everyone else to do your job while you complain. If your job as the boss is just to complain all day and eat, then even a child can do your job. Are you trying to say that I am stupid and useless? You make it sound a bit rude, but to be straight up, yes. I've known for a while now that the only experience of working that you've ever had is within that company, right? I think you should go find another job within a different company for a bit and see what it's really like to have to work a 9-to-5 job. I'm sure that they'll realize how useless you are there, though, and you'll lose your job in no time. You stop all of this screwing around right now, you pile of garbage wife. If you don't want to come back here, then go off and do whatever makes you happy. I don't ever want to see you come back here again, actually. I don't want you in my family or my company ever again. And thank goodness for that, because I wasn't planning on coming back to any of you after this. And if your company starts to fall apart soon, don't come crying back to me asking for my help. Because I am literally never coming back. Who do you think is going to be the one crying and asking for help? I may be lacking some employees here now, but I'll just start pushing your work onto some of the other people within the company. The work you did here can be done by anyone, you know. So I could pick anyone off the street to come in, and they would do a better job than you ever could here. Is that so? Well, that's great to hear. Then I hope you all continue to do your best there. It's been a long time, hasn't it? Are you doing all right, Denise? Why are you texting me, of all people, right now? You go and talk to my son or my husband if you have something to ask or say. But you never ended up blocking me, right? That's probably because you have really wanted me to come back to you, right? No, actually, you need me to come back to you, or else you'll be in a whole lot of trouble, right? You must have heard something from my son then, huh? I did. I heard all about what's been going on. Ever since I quit my job at your company, things have really been going off the deep end, right? So does that mean you were never able to find a good replacement for me? I told you that there are all sorts of replacements for you. Well, then why is your company falling apart so quickly? It seems that a lot of the connections that I had been maintaining with all of the customers have been cut now, right? Which sucks, because I put in a lot of effort and time to maintain a good business relation to all of them. What the hell did you do that caused all of them to run away from you? I haven't done anything to them. I had taken over your job working with all of those customers. But for some reason, when I began to work with all of them, they started to slowly trickle away. It pissed me off. Why were all the customers you had found such annoying and needy people? Were they all really that hard for you to work with? When I went to meet with them and talk about how I'd be handling them, they started to yell at me. Why did you have to find all of these stupid customers to work with my company? And what I'd really like to know is why, when you worked with all of them, they never acted that way towards you. I just did my job as always. But now that you mention it, I can see what might have happened. I remember back in the day when I first started doing customer relations work for an old company I was employed with, I was told that I really know how to handle rude and upset customers. And so you were even able to deal with all the jerks that have been customers to my company? Well, to be honest, I was able to work with you for a while as well, so I think I can handle anyone when it comes to maintaining relations. Maybe I should have told you sooner about how they all acted. Zoe, do you not see how much of all this has screwed us over here? Did you know that this would happen to my company and that's why you left? Well, I thought that you might be able to handle things back then. Really, I never thought things would go this far south with you losing most of everyone that worked with your own company. But that might be because the #1 idiot within the company took over my job and tried to do it. Well, now you can see just how horrible you really are at doing your job. Stop that! I was not the one that messed up. Are you sure about that? Now that I think about what your son told me, there have been some issues with a lot of your employees now too, right? What kind of issues are you talking about? Are you talking about how recently all of my employees have started to have worse attitudes while at work? After you started to have issues handling your customers in those other companies, you began to push even more work onto the others, right? And after hearing about the problems you kept on causing again and again, they really lost patience in dealing with their work. So when you think about it, the reason all of them have a poor attitude now while at work is because you caused them to. But now it's too late for you to apologize to most of them, and I feel that they will start to leave the company and destroy it from the inside out. I heard about the whole situation from your son. I have not done anything wrong that would make them act so out of line. But anytime you'd make your employees do more work for you to try to save your butt, you'd start going off on them because they don't know how to do your job, telling them to shut up and get back to work. And you'd ask them if they really wanted their next paycheck or not. I think when you start acting like that towards the employees that you already overwork, they have every right to be finished with you and want to leave. Really, Denise, you are a useless idiot when it comes to running a business. Well then, what would the right thing to do have been? I have been trying so hard to bring my company back up to snuff. But every time I talk with my husband and son about it, they tell me I should get you to come back and work for me. And they're even telling me to stay away from the office now. And that's the correct thing for them to tell you. All you've done by being in the company is caused it to become worse and worse. And all of the hate within the company that comes from the employees is primarily aimed at you. So if you keep coming into that place every day, I don't think they'll stick around. But I'm one of the owners of this company. I have to be here, right? You may be one of the owners, but you are not helpful when it comes to running the business. To be honest, the company even making it as far as it has under your rule without me is quite amazing. But I think that's all going to crumble away now. If you do not leave that company to professionals to handle and save, then it's going to become so bad that there will be no saving it. No saving it? You're not talking about bankruptcy, right? Well, it'll only be a matter of time now. I'm sure most of your employees are getting ready to find another job and move away from that toxic work environment. If I were still there, I would be online looking for other work right now. Hey, come back here and help me. All of the employees have even been asking me to get you to come back here and help us. I'm sure that just by having you back in the office, the employees will all start to brighten up a little again. Did you know that? That even before this, there were some close calls with your company? What do you mean? That back in the day, there have been employees within your company that knew you didn't know how to run the company, and it made them all very anxious. But just because a lot of them were getting ready to quit, I was brought into your company. And when they told me about all the problems they had there, I tried my best to fix them so they would stay. I had to become the HR pretty much and work to maintain a relatively decent working environment. I did things like that for your company, Denise. Was that something that had been going on? I'm sorry about that. I never knew anything about that. But now I can finally see that you not being here is terrible for my business. So please come help me. I don't want to lose this company. that's because if that company goes under, you'll have to be the one taking responsibility for all of it, right? You should have already known that you have to be responsible for the company until the very end. But you can't try and push all your problems back onto me when you are responsible for them. And right now, that company's main problem is you, Denise. So, this is all my fault? What? Well, that's so strange, isn't it? You yourself had been the only wife in the family for the longest time before I came. Yet instead of helping that company and the family, you had been dragging it down. Maybe that means that you don't have what it takes to be a good wife? After that, I didn't listen anymore to Denise asking me non-stop to come back and help her, and I never did go and back there. And because of my continued absence from there, all of her employees continued to slowly quit, one by one. And because there were no longer enough hands in the office, the workload began to fall behind. And whatever remaining customers Denise had began to leave as well. Right now, that company is going through a lot of changes as the family went ahead and paid for a business consultant to come and help them get the company back on track. But in the end, all of that was for nothing, and the company continued to bleed lots and lots of money every day. Right now, they are very close to losing the company to bankruptcy. As for me and my family, my dad has made great work getting back on his own 2 feet and is even able to take small steps now to get around again. And currently, I work at my family's cafe helping brew coffees and make dishes. And since this isn't a big company anymore, the only customers I have to deal with are those that are hungry or thirsty and are very easy to please. I think if I had a cafe or store of my own, it'd be a whole lot of fun. So for the time I have living back with my parents, I think I'll take some time to think about what my next step will be and where I want to go.
Hey there, Sarah. I was just messaging you because I heard that you came over the other day. Is that true?
Oh, hey there, Tina. Yes, actually, I did happen to go over to your house yesterday.
Well, don't you think that that's pretty mean of you to decide to visit while I was away on a trip?
Not only that, but I heard that you got taken out to eat at a pretty nice place, too.
I guess you all just wait to have fun together until after I leave, don't you?
Well, it was just that someone had a coupon for the place that was about to expire, so I think they were already planning on going to eat out. Besides, your mom is always trying to find ways to take people out and share experiences with them. Is it really so bad if I happen to go out and eat with my in-laws?
Well, I just hope that you enjoyed your steak dinner or whatever it was that you had. I just can't help but thinking that I should have been there in your place. Honestly, just what is my family thinking, taking you out like that and spoiling you? It's ridiculous.
I'm really sorry, Tina, but you were away on a vacation, like you said. I didn't know that you were out of town, otherwise I would have offered that we all go out and use my coupon. But I'll be sure to try and think of your schedule the next time I go over.
Well, you really just should have done that from the very start, you know? I mean, you're lucky that my parents are nice enough to not say anything about you. But I'm just sure that they were furious with you for coming over and not taking me out for dinner as well. So the next time you have the idea to take my family out to eat, don't forget about me.
Right, I will be sure to never do that again. I am really sorry for the confusion.
Oh, and just one more thing. I went on vacation this last time with my boyfriend.
Oh, okay. I hope the two of you had fun together.
Oh, you have no idea. It was just the best. I mean, we really went all out. We went to the beach, got in the ocean, enjoyed the hotel. I really don't think there was a single thing that we left undone. And then at our hotel, on the very last day of our trip, he proposed to me.
Oh, really? Well, that's really great news. Congratulations on that, Tina. I really mean that.
Thank you very much. I knew that he had something big planned out for the trip, but he just refused to tell me what it was. That reminds me, though, it's already the end of summer, so are you really not going to take a trip anywhere this year?
I actually really, really hate the hot weather, so the less I do in a season like this, the better. But I'm already thinking of some nice places to go to once it becomes fall.
Oh, Sarah, that really is just too bad. Do you know that? What are you talking about? It's just that I don't like the heat and prefer cooler weather. Is that really so bad? I mean, have you thought about what you're going to do when you have a child? Are you really just not going to take them anywhere because you might get a little hot? Well, I wasn't really talking about traveling with a kid, but if I were to have a child of my own, then of course I would try to take them places that they would want to go. So, then you're saying that you would even take them somewhere during the summer? Wait a second, I got it. I finally figured out what this is really about. The truth is that you don't have any money to go on trips, isn't it? No, that really isn't it. Like at all. But if you're talking about how expensive it can be to travel in the summer, then you're right about that. I usually do try and aim my trips to not be during peak season so that they don't cost me an arm and a leg. Well, if you're not traveling at off-season, then it must be because you can't afford to. After all, I know that you can't have that much money with the job my brother works. So I guess you really can't help it if you just can't afford to do anything. Though, I really just can't relate. My boyfriend, I guess I have to call him my fiancé now, is so rich and lets me do whatever I want. Well, it sounds to me like you have a very kind and generous fiancé then. That's right, he is my fiancé, and he's all mine after I marry him. Thank goodness I waited for the right person to come along before getting married. Unlike you with my lame brother. But then again, it's really no wonder why I ended up in the situation that I'm in. I guess my charm just naturally attracts the most successful and handsome men to me. You know, I didn't just marry the first person who I happened to fall in love with, right? What are you talking about? You were desperate to get married, and then you just rushed into what you're having now with my brother, right? I mean, we all know that you're not exactly a spring chicken anymore. It's pretty clear that you're just getting married so that people would stop feeling bad about you. That really isn't what happened at all, and I'd appreciate you keeping your assumptions to yourself. Well, I'm sorry, but I'm just taking a look at the facts and telling you the conclusions that I'm coming to. Still, though, I can't believe that you wanted to get married when there was little money between the two of you. It was really quite irresponsible, no matter how you think about it. But what else can you expect from a rush job wedding like yours? You were probably moving so fast that you couldn't even think straight. No, I mean, we already agreed that we would really just do things for a photo shoot, but that we didn't want some huge party or anything like that. You're such a liar, and you're doing a horrible job of hiding it. Obviously, anyone with money would want to have a huge blowout celebration. I mean, what little girl hasn't dreamed of getting to have a huge wedding all about her? You're telling me that you really didn't want anything like that at all? That you were just fine watching everyone around you have wonderful weddings while you settled for what you and my brother had? The least you could do is fess up and be honest with me about this. I really am just not the kind of girl that you think I am, I guess. But Toby and I were never going to have any other kind of wedding than the one we are going to. I guess there's just really not getting anything out of you, is there? I should have known that you would insist on living your fantasy world than just accepting what I'm saying to you. I have no idea what my brother ever saw in a lady as stubborn as you. He should have gone with someone that he really loved instead. Maybe he should have followed in my footsteps and waited more carefully. Maybe if I didn't do things the way that I did, then we wouldn't have ended up with someone as unique looking as yourself. Okay, well, I've had just about enough of all this, so if you'll excuse me, I'm going to get back to work now. You mean that you know that I've been right about all of this, and that's why you're running away? You've got nothing else to say to me. You're really just so pathetic sometimes, do you know that? The thing is that you probably actually do have to work, but that just proves my point about how poor you really are. Anyways, good luck with your job. I hope you can make enough money to do something more special for your wedding, huh? Hey there, Sarah. I was just wondering if you heard the big news from Toby. You mean about you getting married? Yes, I heard. That's very, very exciting for you. Well, you have to be at least a little surprised by all of this, right? I mean, can you believe that I'm going to be having my wedding at the same place as that celebrity? This is going to be just amazing. Yeah, it really is something, isn't it? I'm very much looking forward to the big day. I know, everyone is just going to be so jealous of me. It's the best feeling ever. I've already custom ordered my dress and everything too. This is going to be the best wedding that anyone has ever seen, and it's mine. Are you really sure about that, Tina? What do you mean, am I sure about that? Just why wouldn't I be sure about all of this, huh? I mean, it sounds like you're putting a lot of money into this wedding. Are you sure that that's a good idea? If you're asking me if I'm worried about being able to afford this wedding, then you have nothing to worry about, Sarah. My amazing fiancé, Mark, told me that he was going to be paying for everything and that he wouldn't spare a cent if it was something that I wanted. Isn't that just amazing? He wants me to have the wedding of my dreams, so he didn't even give me a budget. He just told me to say the word and whatever I wanted was mine. You must be so jealous of me right now, huh? I'm not really jealous. Thanks for checking in, though. I just wanted to make sure that you thought everything was okay. But I am sorry if I was overstepping my bounds and being a bit of a worrywart. Oh, trust me, I really enjoy you giving me any opportunity to prove you wrong and brag about my wedding at the same time. It just really is a shame that you'll never have what I have. You were just too focused on getting married before me, weren't you? That really wasn't even part of our wedding plans at all, if you must know. Whatever. It is so obvious that you're just lying out of embarrassment right now. I know that you're jealous because I'm going to have my perfect wedding. Anyways, I hope that you've picked up something really special to wear to my wedding at least. Because, to be honest, I think we're going to have it at a place that wouldn't typically let in people like you. I see. Well, thank you so much for the heads up, but I've already chosen what I'm going to wear at the wedding. Whatever. Just make sure you take a shower the day of my wedding, after all. You're going to be sitting with my family since you're married to my brother. Just make sure you don't stink up the place. Anyways, I guess we'll see you at my wedding then. Make sure you bring us a wedding gift, if you can afford it. Hello, Tina. I'm sorry to bother you while you're busy getting ready right now, but I just had something that I needed to ask you really quick. What is it? Don't you know that I'm getting my hair and makeup done right now? Whatever it is that you want to talk to me about, just make it quick. Well, okay then. The thing is that I just arrived here and the usher is telling me that I don't have a seat at the wedding. I told them to check the table for close family where Toby would be sitting. But they even checked there and still said that they didn't have a record of any guest with my name. I was sure that I sent in my RSVPs, so I don't know what's happening right now. Oh, I see what's going on here. Yeah, I can clear this up for you. I've instructed the staff here not to let you in under any circumstances. Wait, what? I'm sorry, but why in the world would you do something like that? Well, I was thinking about it, and I realized that I just couldn't have you at my wedding. You would just ruin the entire aesthetic that I was going for. Then again, I don't know what aesthetic you would even fit in, but either way, I wasn't about to suffer you being the background of all my wedding photos, ruining them. But you understand, don't you? I mean, there's nothing wrong with wanting to be surrounded by pretty things when you get married. And one way you can ensure that is by not letting any ugly things or people in. So you're telling me that you uninvited me to your wedding because you think that I'm ugly? Is that not clear already? I certainly hope that you didn't think that I thought you were beautiful or anything like that. I really just don't even know what to say to this. I mean, I spent a lot of money renting this dress for today. I don't care if you had the most beautiful and expensive dress in the whole world. What would be the point of putting a pig like you in it and ruining it? Did you really think that I was going to let you near my family on my big day? No way. So why don't you just turn around and go home? Are you sure about that? You really want me to leave right now? Duh. That's literally what I just said, isn't it? Anyways, I already told you that I'm busy, so just leave. If all you're going to do is whine and complain about how you came all the way down here for this, then save it because I don't want to hear it. I'm the star of today, and so if I don't want to talk to you, then there's no way that you can make me. You really don't have a clue about what you're talking about, do you? Man, you're just an idiot, Tina.
Excuse me? Did you really just send that message to me on my wedding day? You're the idiot. You're just mad because I wasted your time and now you have to go home. But just beat it because I don't want to see you at all today. So tuck your tail in between your legs and just run away already.
I'm sorry, but if you think this is going to end well for you, then you are going to be sorely mistaken, Tina. You broke your promise, but if you really want, then I can still go home.
What in the world are you talking about? Have you gone crazy or something? I thought I already told you to go home and leave me alone. Why are you still texting me? You should know that this was always going to happen and that I was never once going to really give you a seat at my wedding.
Okay then, that's fine. I'll just have to collect my $50,000 then and I'll be on my way.
$50,000? What on earth are you talking about?
Well, I'm talking about the money that I lent your husband to throw this wedding, of course.
Hold on a second. Seriously, what are you talking about? My husband didn't borrow a cent from you. You're crazy. And if you think he borrowed $50,000 from anyone, then you really have no idea what you're talking about at all.
There you go again, proving my point about just how stupid you really are, Tina. You have no idea that your husband was borrowing money from me to be able to throw your wedding. So what are you going to do now? Pay me back or make me go home?
No, seriously, what in the world are you talking about right now?
I guess maybe you should have a little chat with your fiancé about all of this. I'll go home and send you the invoice for your debt later, okay? Hey there, Tina. I just wanted to congratulate you on having your wedding the other day. Did you talk to your husband, Mark, about paying back the money he borrowed from me? I was just curious if you guys decided when you were going to be repaying me all of that back.
I don't know. It's not my problem because it's not money that I borrowed from you.
Well, you should know that I'm looking over Mark and I's contract here. He told me that in the event that he can't pay me back, that I can claim repayment in kind with his personal belongings.
This is all your fault. I was supposed to have the perfect wedding and you completely ruined everything. Do you know that?
I'm sure that I have no idea at all of what you're talking about right now, Tina.
Did you know that after the wedding, Mark and I got into a huge fight? He told me that I was asking for too much for the wedding, so he had to go somewhere for the money. He told me that this was all my fault. Can you believe him? I couldn't believe that he actually said that.
But now it seems like you think that all of this is really my fault instead, but I'm afraid that I've got nothing to do with this.
How can you say that when you demanded that we pay back the money right then and there? Why couldn't we just pay you monthly or something like that until we had paid everything off?
I guess you really didn't talk all that much with your husband about how this was done. After all, the reason why I demanded to be paid back immediately was because of the rudeness that you were showing me.
And just what is that supposed to mean, huh?
I mean that when your husband borrowed the money from me, we had a very specific arrangement. I told him about how you were always rude to me and that I didn't feel comfortable lending him money for your wedding. But he told me that he would talk to you and make sure that you didn't keep up that kind of bad behavior towards me.
But he never told me anything like that at all.
Well, we included it in the contract that that was to be part of the deal for the loan. In fact, none of this would be happening right now if it weren't for you acting the way that you did towards me. I'm actually surprised that he didn't mention any of that to you at all.
But then that means that it can't be my fault. I didn't know anything, and it's all Mark's fault for not telling me about any of this sooner.
Well, you might have a point there. But a contract is a contract, and it would have never been made if you weren't asking for so much.
But, I mean, why in
in the world would Mark think to go to you and ask for money? Doesn't he know how much we dislike each other?
Well, you were insistent of having your perfect wedding no matter the cost, weren't you? You even told Mark that you'd divorce him right after the wedding if everything didn't go exactly as you pictured it, right? So he felt like he had no choice but to come to me and ask for a loan.
But that still doesn't make any sense. I mean, why would he go to you for money? He had other options like our parents or friends or literally anyone else.
I heard that both your parents turned Mark down. They said it was silly to spend so much money on a wedding. They were never about to give in to your crazy demands like Mark was.
But you told Mark that it would be fine if he paid you back a little bit every month, didn't you? Did you know that he didn't even come home last night?
Well, again, I think that you're going to have to take the blame for that one.
And just how is that my fault too? Why is everything my fault? Especially when you were the one sending Mark screenshots of our conversation. I didn't think that you were the kind of person to make fun of someone behind their back. I didn't think that you were capable of something like this at all.
Well, it sure is a good thing that we both learned about who we really are so early on, isn't it?
Sarah, please. I'm so sorry for all this. You have to forgive me. You have to know that I never wanted things to go this way.
Okay, and? What do you expect me to do in light of any of that, huh?
I just mean that I'm sorry, okay? I'm sorry about borrowing money that we didn't have from you. I'm sorry for calling you ugly, and I'm sorry for all the other mean things that I've said and done. Just please don't ask for us to pay you back all at once. There's no way we could do that.
Yeah, well, too bad, because that's what's happening.
You mean even after I said that I was sorry for everything, you're still going through with this? I thought that we were family. Why do you need all the money back right away?
What are you talking about? You don't think that we're family? You didn't invite me to your wedding because it would mean that I'd sit with your family. You only ever looked down on me the entire time that I've known you. And you think that I'll forgive you for everything because you ask for it?
Please, this is all just a big mistake. I really didn't even know that you made so much money. I mean, you didn't even have a wedding, but I thought it was because you couldn't afford it.
Well, it sounds to me like you were just seeing the world in the way you wanted it to be, not how it really was. But you brought this upon yourself. I'm not going to be changing my mind, and that's my final answer. After that, I heard that things only got worse for Tina and Mark and that they ended up getting a divorce. I have no idea what Mark was thinking, not talking to Tina about the conditions of his loan. I tried to be patient with him and give him warnings here and there, but maybe he was just too busy planning the wedding to really pay attention. But while he was doing that, Tina was busy getting him into deeper and deeper trouble with me. To pay back the money, Mark had to sell his car and many other possessions he owned. Since they were married, Tina was also compelled to cough up half the debt. Tina almost avoided paying her half, but when she told her parents about the divorce and what happened to cause it, they were furious. She had meant to ask them if she could live with them again, but they said only on the condition that she pay half the loan. What ended up happening instead was that Tina's parents paid for her debt, but they made her sign a contract agreeing to work to pay it all off. Tina's dad found her a job through one of his connections and shipped her off to an oil rig in the middle of the ocean. I haven't heard anything from them in months, and I prefer to keep it that way. When Tina's parents first agreed to pay her debt, I knew she had gone there to ask them if she could live at their house again. I was so worried that I'd never be able to spend time with my in-laws again since Tina would be there. But thankfully, I don't have to worry about that anymore.
Claire, I'm sorry about what my sister did today. Especially when today was supposed to be your day off work.
You don't have to be sorry. I'll be fine. I'm sure that you're also pretty burnt out now, right? Good work today.
I may feel burnt out a bit, but really I'm just tired of having to do so much work. When it comes to Holly, you could say that she's just a bit too pushy. I really don't like to think of her as my little sister, rather my older sister.
Well, you do let her push you around a lot, don't you? But that's not always a bad thing when it comes to you. However, I do think that you should learn a little bit from the way she's pushing you around all the time.
Oh, so now even you're going to say stuff like that to me. Am I really that much of a pussy?
I'm not calling you a pussy when I say that. You are very considerate of others, and it's easy to ask for your help with anything. But one could say that you can be a bit of a pushover at times. Like today, you really just let Holly get away with pushing you around a lot, right?
Well, you're not wrong for calling me that, and so I have nothing else to say. She asked me to come over because she just had that divorce and wanted some time to talk. Yeah, once again, the moment she was around us, she began to ask me to do things for her. I cannot believe it.
What things did she ask?
Well, about that, it's really hard for me to say. You know about how Holly has her own daughter now, right?
She's 2 years younger than our daughter, right? I really haven't met her daughter that much, nor seen pictures of her. What's going on with her?
Well, my sister asked that I start to take care of her daughter for a little while. And I said that was okay.
Huh? What are you saying? I'm having a hard time believing that.
I'm sorry. I'm sure that you don't want to believe anything I just said. You know how Holly is a single mother now after the divorce though, right? I just want to help her and her daughter out a little while she's busy handling that. And I'm not going to be caring for her daughter forever, okay?
What do you mean she's busy with other things, though? I'm sure that right now things are pretty tough for her after the divorce, but you and I already have a daughter we have to care for.
And I'm very aware of that, but Holly really does have a lot of things keeping her busy right now. So I just wanted to help her out a little with her daughter.
Even if you want to help her out, what are we going to do? You yourself have a job that you need to go to. And I have to focus on both chores and working a part-time job.
And that's why what I'm saying about helping her care for her daughter will only happen occasionally. Holly has to go to work herself now, but she has her daughter go to preschool for most of the day. But if her daughter was to have a fever or something, she can't go to school. And when an emergency like that comes up, we'll be there to help take care of her daughter while she works.
So what you're saying is that we will focus more on helping her than our own family?
Well, just for a bit. After all, it's not like our daughter and the chores here take much work, right? And since her and I are both adults now, we can afford and understand helping one another every so often.
Who was the one that said that?
She did. But we're all adults, and so we need to worry about one another when there's emergencies. She's my little sister as well, so this is a must for me.
I can see that you're trying to make a good reason for this, but to me it just seems like she's taken advantage of you again.
Well, that's, I'm sure that you have every right to call it that. But I'm being serious when I say that I'm worried about her right now after the divorce.
You really are an easy pushover. I'm not going to say that I'm opposed to what you want to do, but you should come to me about it first before making a decision.
Well, is this okay with you?
I can't tell you no now, right? At this point, she's already expecting us to help her, and we should be a little bit considerate of her because of the situation she's in. And as for your mom and dad, they live pretty far away, so asking them to help out would be rough. This will only happen occasionally, right?
Of course it will.
Well then, I'm fine with us taking care of her daughter every once in a long while. But just be sure that you are around more for our daughter as well, alright? She was really upset today because you weren't around to go out and play with her.
I knew she would be. I really messed up, didn't I?
Make sure that you're always putting most of your focus on this family, okay? I don't like to say this sort of thing, but even though she is your little sister, she has a world of her own now and isn't part of this household. So make sure you're here more often to show our daughter you still love her. If you're able to do that more often for her, then I'm fine offering some help to Holly.
Thank you so much. I'll do my best to make sure that our girl still knows I care about her. Claire, I'm out of work now. I'm absolutely exhausted from today.
Good work, Ryan. You'll be coming straight home now, right? I'll make sure to warm up your dinner and have it on the table for you.
Wait, I'm sorry. I have to go straight to preschool now once I'm in my car. So you can just leave dinner in the fridge for me and I'll warm it up when I get home.
You're going to the preschool right now?
That's right, I have to help with Holly. It seems that she's going to be out late for work again. So until she's out of work and back home, I'll be taking care of her daughter.
Wait, again? It's already been 2 times now this week that she's had to stay late.
Well, now that she's single again, she has to work harder to make enough money for herself and her daughter. I know for a fact that she's trying her best right now to make her life right again.
I can see that, but you told me before that it would only be on occasion that we have to watch her daughter for her. Yet last week you had to go out twice to get her daughter and watch her, and this week it's already been another 2 times. I'm starting to feel that there will be even more times this week than last.
I can see why you'd say that. But she never really knows what time she'll be getting home from work at. And right now she's been talking to her boss about getting more time off to be home for her daughter.
Really?
Yeah, and until that happens, she asked the preschool to take care of her daughter for longer periods of the day. But when that's not possible, I have to be here to get her daughter and watch over her. Right now, the price of having her daughter be cared for all day by the preschool is also a bit high. So I think that her daughter might just have to leave preschool earlier and be with me.
I really want to understand that, but
I feel that right now the things going on with my sister and her daughter are causing you guys a lot of stress. But you understand that things are tough for my sister right now, right? So please.
Fine, then I'll come over there and help you out. That way you and I can work together to help out with her daughter, right?
Huh? You don't have to come here, Claire. I don't want this to be a problem for you any more than it already is.
But I feel that if you continue to deal with her daughter all by yourself, she's going to continue to ask you to do more things for her, right?
And I'm sure that she will ask me to help with some other things.
Right? That's why this time I'll come over there and take care of her daughter in your place. I think that would be great for our daughter as well, to go and see another girl around her age.
No. You really do not have to do that. I told you that I cannot let this become any more of a problem for you both.
But not having you around this house for multiple days a week is a problem. Right now, your daughter has been really lonely because her dad is never home. And by having us there with you, it'll be easier to watch Holly's daughter, right?
Like, I know that you guys doing that would make things easier for me, but I still think it's not a good idea.
Why, though? I just want to come over and watch my niece with you. Is it so bad to have me come over and be there to help you out?
That's not really what I'm worried about, though. I think that Holly would hate the idea of that.
What would she be so upset about if I came over to help out?
Well, to her, she feels as though you're like a real big sister to her. And she's told me so many times now that she doesn't want to cause any trouble for you. So that's why this whole time I've been the only one coming to her house to take care of her daughter.
I understand how she feels, but with the way things have been, I'm not seeing a happy future. I get that she's your sister and all, but just because of that doesn't mean you need to keep sacrificing your wife and your daughter for her. If you don't want to cause any more problems for me, then maybe you should tell her no and come back to us.
But even if that's what you'd like me to do, I told you it's impossible for me to say no right now. I know that you think that I can just get up and do something like that, but please just understand me and let things be.
Fine. But this weekend, you better be back home with us all day, okay? Our daughter is going to be giving a speech as part of her school project.
I know about that. That'll take place in the morning, right? I'll have work off that day, so you won't have to worry about me missing it.
This is a real promise from you, right? Right now, our daughter wants to have you there to see her speech, and she won't stop talking about it. I know that what's been happening has been tough for you. But don't you use your sister's situation as an excuse to stab our own daughter in the back on her big day. Holly, I have something I'd like to talk with you about. Are you okay with talking to me for a little bit? I'm sorry if I'm interrupting you in the middle of your workday. No, I just started my break, so this is the perfect timing to talk. And actually, it's really rare for you to ever contact me about anything. Did something happen that I need to know about? Well, right now, things are pretty tough for you over there, and so me saying something like this might not be okay of me, but, well, I have some things to talk to you about regarding your daughter. You probably know what that kind of stuff entails, right? You want to talk about my daughter? Wait, why would you want to talk about her? I'm sorry, but I have no clue what you're talking about that includes her. Well, then I'm going to spill it all out for you, okay? I'd really like it if you stopped asking my husband to help you care for your daughter so often. He has a family with his wife and daughter here as well that he needs to be around with. And having you ask him over and over each week to help you out is starting to become a problem over here. I'm sorry, what are you talking about? Since when have I been asking Ryan to help me with my daughter? I'm really sorry, but I don't even know what all of that means. With what's been going on, you playing stupid is not going to fly, okay? Last week alone, you asked my husband to go over and babysit your daughter, right? And because of that, he never ended up coming to my daughter's speech that she had on the weekend. Do you not see how you always using him has really stressed my family out? Huh? Can you stop trying to joke around with me? I have never had my brother take care of my daughter for me. I may be single now after the divorce and have a lot on my plate involving my daughter, but I've been handling it all on my own. What are you talking about? Just a little bit ago, you asked my husband to go over to your house and watch your daughter, right? Are you really telling me that all of that doesn't ring any bells for you? He was just over there last night. But I'm telling you that I haven't ever had to ask him to watch her. Saying that he was here 3 times last week and how he was over last night, I have no idea what you're talking about. I haven't even seen my brother in over 6 months now, Claire. So how has he been watching my daughter when I've known nothing about him? What? Are you sure? Yes, I'm sure. I told him about the time when I was getting divorced and all that, but during that time he was busy with work and being around you guys, right? And so that's why I stopped talking to him after that. He never even got back to me about what I should do after the divorce, and I was left to fend for myself. But he told me that you asked him a bunch to go over and watch your daughter while you had other things going on. I told you just a second ago. Ryan has you guys now and doesn't worry about me. And I wasn't ever trying to get in the way of your guys' lives. I have friends of my own now around the neighborhood, so if I need someone to help me, I'll ask them. I see. Holly, I'm sorry for being so upset with you over something I didn't know well enough about. I should never have doubted what you said to me. So, my brother has been telling you all these things then? Well, I'd be worried as well if I had a husband telling me all of that. I'm not going to worry about what just happened. Thank you, Holly. But there's another issue now. What the hell has my brother been doing if not here taking care of my daughter? He's been lying to you so that he can stay out of the house for some reason, right? Yeah, it seems that way now. Claire, I'm sure you're not going to want to do something like this, but I think it's best that you take a look through his bags or his smartphone to see what he's been up to. And if you can do it with secrecy, try putting a GPS app on his phone that you can track to see where he's been going. So what you're meaning by that is that my husband could be cheating on me? That's a possibility, right? He has been lying to you to get out more, so I think that's a good enough reason to believe he's probably having an affair. After all, I've had that done to me by my ex before, so I know how it all goes down. And that's why you guys got a divorce? I'm so sorry. I've made you remember some things that I'm sure you wanted to forget. No worries. The only ones that ever did anything wrong were those that had the affair. So I'm sure that you don't want to dig into his lies any further, but you're going to have to do what you've got to do.
And if you can get a lot of evidence of him having an affair now, later on will be a lot easier for you. Even if you don't want to have a divorce in the end, it'll be a whole lot better for you and your daughter if Ryan is gone. Thank you for the advice, Holly. You are completely right, though. I have to do all of this for myself and my daughter as well. But if it turns out he's not cheating on you, then things will be a lot less stressful, right? Well, if you have any problems or questions, don't be afraid to tell me. I'm a mother just like you now, so I want to be here to support you. Thank you so much, Holly. Ryan, are you not coming home again tonight? Our daughter's gone to sleep and all now, but...
I'm so sorry about that. Holly still hasn't come home from work yet, and I can't just leave my niece here all by herself now, right? So I think I'll have to stay the night here again tonight.
I see. That's too bad. Staying the night with your niece at a hotel is pretty dang tough.
Huh? A hotel? The hell are you going on about?
You know what I'm talking about right now are facts, right? I mean, right now my phone is showing that you're at a hotel.
Your phone's showing you that? What the actual heck is going on right now? I literally don't know how to follow what you're saying, Claire.
I had hidden all of this from you, but I had a GPS app installed on your phone so that I could track where you were going. Your sister asked me to do that. She made sure to let me know that it's best I get a lot of evidence of you cheating on me.
A GPS app? You're joking, right? Because, Claire, even though you and I are married, that's a bit... That right there is you crossing a line.
And you lying by saying that you were helping your sister by watching her daughter when you were really out having an affair is you crossing the line. Unless you think that cheating is totally acceptable when you're already married.
No, that's not what I meant by that. Anyway, what do you mean I'm having an affair? I'm not sleeping with any other women besides you.
Then why are you at a hotel at this time of night? I know that you're not watching after Holly's kids, so what are you doing there?
That's, I think there was some kind of error with your app that made it look like I was at a hotel. I'm telling you, I'm at my sister's house right now watching her daughter.
Really?
I'm serious. You already know about me, right? I'm a complete pushover when it comes to being asked for help. So why would I ever be having an affair when I have to help my sister?
But that doesn't make sense because both Holly and her daughter are at home with me. So how the flippin' hell are you watching over her daughter right now?
What? You're telling me they're with you?
That's right. When I found out that you were in a hotel, I called her and asked both of them to come here. If you don't believe me, would you like me to send you a picture of them? Holly is completely pissed off at you right now.
You're lying, right? Why would this happen? You've been doubting me this whole time?
I want to ask why you thought I'd never find out about this. You should have known that the moment I talked to Holly, she'd tell me the truth, right?
Well, I assumed that you and her weren't that close to one another. So I just thought you'd never talk to one another about this. Normally, you never talk to her, right?
Normally? But right now, things have been anything but normal for all of us. Did you think I'd stay quiet after you never showed to your daughter's speech?
This is awful. This means you're not thinking about divorce, right? When talking about having an affair, this was only my first time. And look, having an affair is something a lot of guys do at least once, right? So you shouldn't be too upset about me doing it one time.
I have heard people say that about men a lot, actually. And when you have a wife that can turn the other way when her husband does that, she is the real deal.
Right? An amazing wife for letting that happen. I'm glad you understand that. I was thinking I'd be so screwed for a second there.
But that has nothing to do with the kind of wife I am.
Huh? What the hell are you saying, Claire? You're not gonna forgive me for something like this?
If you're saying that having affairs is something all men do, then it's my job as a woman to make sure that my children are safe. And since you think that having fun with another woman is more important than your own daughter, I don't need you.
Are you being freaking serious right now? She's still in preschool, right? Do you not understand how hard it will be for you to raise her all on your own?
I think I'd prefer a life raising her on my own over being married to a man that doesn't love his family. But I'd rather have the struggle of being a single mother as long as my daughter doesn't have to worry about a cheating man being her father. If you understand how I feel, then get lost, Ryan. I will never be around to look after a man that thinks he can get away with cheating. After that, I gathered all the evidence of Ryan having an affair that I had and got divorced from him like Holly suggested. Because of all that hard evidence that I had, I was able to get a settlement from Ryan, full custody of my daughter, and he had to pay child support every month as well. And because what had happened to me was the same as what had happened with Holly, her and I became great friends that supported one another. I'm sure that if it wasn't for her being there back then to help me out, I would have never had the spirits to find that evidence and get rid of Ryan, and would still be stuck with him thinking about how he was sleeping with another woman. And even though I'm a single mother and no longer have Ryan around, I still make sure that when I have days off, I'm around my daughter all day and play with her nonstop. It is a really unfortunate thing that Ryan had cheated on me and totally forgot about our daughter, but because this all happened when she was still young, she'll never really have to remember him as being her father, and I'm so thankful for that.
Hey there, Annalise. It's your beloved Grandma.
Hey, Grandma. Thanks for the message. Did you get used to your new smartphone yet?
You betcha.
I can't believe how quickly you got used to writing messages even though it's your first time having one. You got the hang of it quicker than some of my school friends.
I know, right? There's only one explanation for it. I must be a genius. It was the same back when I got my first flip phone. All of the girls from the bingo hall were flabbergasted by how quickly I got to grips with it. I've always been a dab hand with technology.
Really? That's impressive. You should have bought one earlier if you're this much of a natural.
It's fine, dear. There really wasn't any need. But these days, the world's becoming so dependent on these gadgets that it's getting hard to live without them. Even tickets for live music are electronic now. QR codes this, electronic passes that. It's difficult to exist in this day and age without a smartphone.
Right. I heard you like going to watch live K-pop performances. You're like a teenager.
Right? K-pop keeps you young, my dear. I have another show lined up in August. I'm finally going to see Black Peeps.
Wow, really? That sounds like a blast. I bet you'll love it. I want to go watch live K-pop too.
I know, darling, but you have too many responsibilities right now to afford to spend time at music festivals. You have your exams coming up soon, right? I don't want to make you feel pressured, but how well you do on these will determine the course of the rest of your life. You can have fun going to concerts once your exams are over.
I'm studying really hard, Grandma. I always get the highest grades in my class.
Wow, you do? That's my Annalise. You really are your father's daughter. Thank God you didn't end up taking after your mom. What a nightmare that would have been.
Why? What's bad about taking after my mom? Mom's just as clever as Dad is.
I wonder. Didn't your mom graduate a second-rate college? No matter which way you look at it, she's vastly inferior to your father. You ending up like her is the last thing we need.
Ending up like her? What's that supposed to mean? Is this why you messaged me to insult my mom?
No, it's not like that at all. Forget I said anything, darling. Will you be coming over to your grandmother's house for Thanksgiving this year?
Yeah. I have my exams coming up soon, though, so I probably shouldn't be wasting time on Thanksgiving celebrations.
Don't be silly, dear. It's good to let your hair down sometimes.
I can't afford to let my guard down. If I slack off once, I might fall into the habit and get lazy.
You normally take your studies very seriously, don't you? If studying is already part of your daily routine, I think you'll be absolutely fine. A study routine you developed over the course of years and months isn't going to fall apart because you spend a measly 3 days enjoying time with your family. Besides, we have your dad's old desk here, so if you're really that worried, you can study while you're here.
Yeah, Dad mentioned that too, but still.
Annalise, this is the first time the entire family will have been gathered together in years, and we have a duty to make the most of it. I just know we're going to have a whale of a time. We'll probably never get another chance like this again, so I absolutely will not hear any more about you not coming. You're going to eat my delicious Thanksgiving dinner, and that's the end of it.
Am I allowed to study whenever we're not eating?
Of course you are, darling. Anyway, what time will you be leaving for my house? I was told you'll all be coming a day early so we can spend as much family time together as possible. I was thinking of ordering you burger and fries on the first day. Of course, I want to avoid eating anything substantial on the day itself because we'll all be having a big, sumptuous, home-cooked dinner together.
Mom said we'll be leaving first thing on the 23rd, so I guess we'll probably arrive around lunchtime.
The 23rd? Weren't you coming on the 22nd? I was told you'd all be staying with me from the 22nd to the 26th.
Well, I was told the 23rd.
That's strange. Is your mother there?
Yeah, why?
Be a darling and pass her your phone. I want to confirm with her.
Hello, Betty.
Victoria?
Yep, it's me.
Aren't you coming over for Thanksgiving on the 22nd? Annalise just told me the 23rd.
Yep, we're coming on the 23rd.
Are you sure you're not getting this wrong? My Timothy told me the 22nd.
Oh, he did? He must have told you wrong. We're leaving on the morning of the 23rd.
How could you do this to me? I made plans for the festivities to start on the 22nd, because that's when I thought you were coming. I was going to order burgers for everyone.
I'm sorry, Betty.
Goodness gracious me, Victoria, I do wish you were more organized. Do you think I don't have a life of my own to live? I turned down social invites from friends to have you all over on the 22nd.
I'm really sorry about this. I hope it doesn't mess up your schedule too much.
I suppose I shouldn't be too hard on you. It's hardly a surprise that someone who graduated a second-rate college would be this disorganized and unreliable. But still, imagine struggling with something as basic as simple communication. It's a wonder you even made it this far in life. Your disorderly schedule-keeping habits betray your lower-class upbringing.
But it didn't have anything to do with me. It was Tim who told you the wrong day.
Don't but me, young lady. You're his wife, and a good wife is like a secretary. It's your job to confirm his schedule. No ifs, no buts. He works full-time to make sure you have food on the table and a roof over your head. Do you really think he has that kind of luxury? You're so sloppy, it makes me sick.
Sorry for the misunderstanding.
Has there ever been a wife as useless as you? I'm starting to doubt it. To think my poor son married you, I'll never know what possessed him to make such an irresponsible decision. He normally acts so intelligently. I'm just grateful Annalise didn't end up taking after you.
Yeah, she's the spitting image of her dad. Their personalities are super similar, too. They're both really clever.
Exactly. I take it you'll be sending her to an elite high school? She'll ace everything they throw at her because she takes after my Timothy.
I couldn't agree more. She studies really hard every single day, and I'm very proud of her. There's nothing she can't do when she puts her mind to it.
Right? Just now, she told me she even wants to study on Thanksgiving. Truly, she's one in a million. My Timothy's genes are definitely stronger in her. I have high hopes for her future. Right, me too. Anyway, we'll be seeing you on the 23rd for Thanksgiving. We're all looking forward to it.
Hey, you! What the heck do you think you're playing at? What have you been teaching my granddaughter? You're a failure as a parent.
Hi, Betty. I'm not sure what you mean. Would you mind elaborating?
How long do you and my son plan on staying out grocery shopping? You'll never believe what Annalise did while you were away. This is outrageous.
She did something? What did she do?
She threw one of the meals I cooked in the garbage.
Huh? What do you mean?
She said it was because the salsa side dish I made was too spicy. I know you and her don't like spicy foods, which is why I made you both a separate, milder version. But she threw the spicy one in the trash.
Really? Why would she do such a thing?
I have no idea, Victoria. Why don't you tell me? I spent hours slaving over a hot stove to make sure this Thanksgiving dinner was a huge success. How could she be so immature? I thought she was better than this. Is she really 15? Because she acts 5.
I'm really sorry about this, Betty. What's Annalise doing now?
She locked herself in the study and won't come out. What's worse, she seems to have absolutely no intention of apologizing whatsoever. She won't even speak to me, for crying out loud. She's completely ignoring me. You should know I've already told the rest of the family about this little stunt of hers. All of our relatives are furious with her.
Just hold on. Me and Tim will be back as soon as we can.
Yes, make sure you are. I can't believe this. This was supposed to be a special family get-together where we all laughed and joked and made merry over some good food. But that little brat has gone and ruined everything with her disgraceful behavior.
Betty, hold on a second. Do you have any idea why she might have done it other than it being spicy? Annalise has a good head on her shoulders, and she's very mature for her age. I find it hard to believe she'd do something so extreme without good reason. Nothing seemed out of the ordinary before Tim and I went out shopping.
I don't know why she did it. She just tossed it in the garbage and started glaring at me. You should have seen the look on her face. Pure hatred, I tell you. What on earth is wrong with that girl?
I see. I'm so sorry she did that. Me and Tim are going to talk to her as soon as we get back.
If you're going to tell her off, you can do it right now. I've heard of rebellious phases, but this crosses the line. Back in my day, she'd have gotten 20 cracks of the belt for this. I knew it. I never wanted to accept it was possible, but I can't bury my head in the sand anymore. This was always going to happen with you as her mother. This clearly happened because she inherited your barbaric peasant genes.
I can't apologize enough for what she did. But I know that Annalise isn't the kind of girl to throw someone's kindness back in their face like that. There has to be a reason. There's no smoke without fire. That said, even if she did have her reasons, throwing your cooking in the trash was totally unacceptable.
No shit, Captain Obvious. I am livid. You know what? I've had it. I won't even forgive her if she apologizes. I had such high hopes for that girl. Words can't describe my disappointment. I had no idea she was such an uncivilized savage.
I'm going to message her right away. I'm so sorry, Betty.
If you're going to apologize, then at least do it properly. I want you to apologize to me in person, to my face. If Annalise doesn't apologize to me, neither of you will be getting any supper tonight. Do you hear me? No supper.
Annalise, I just heard what happened. Can you explain what's going on? Why did you throw away your grandma's salsa?
Did she message you?
Yes, she's absolutely livid.
I know that. She went crazy at me when I did it. Her face was bright red. She looked like a demon.
Do not call your grandmother a demon. Throwing a meal someone worked very hard to cook in the garbage like that is extremely rude, hurtful, and completely unacceptable, Annalise. It's only natural she'd be angry with you. You're coming with me, and we're going to apologize to her right now. You know what you did was wrong, don't you?
Sure, I accept that it's rude to throw people's cooking in the trash, but I don't think what I did was wrong. I'm not saying sorry. You would have ended up in the hospital if you ate that stuff.
Huh? Ended up in the hospital? What's that supposed to mean?
She put something in the salsa that was meant for me and you. I saw her. We would have gotten sick if we ate it.
What do you mean she put something in it? Like what? What are you talking about?
I think it was pesticide or rat poison or something. I saw her mixing it into the salsa. That's why I tossed it in the garbage. I'm guessing she was trying to send us to the hospital because she didn't want us there for the Thanksgiving dinner.
But why would she do such a thing? Are you aware of how crazy that sounds? Are you sure you're not making some kind of misunderstanding here? Your grandma loves you to bits. You know she does. She dotes on you more than anyone.
But she hates you. The only reason she was nice to me before is because she thought I took after Dad. That all changed yesterday.
Why? What happened yesterday?
Grandma was saying all kinds of mean, horrible things about you last night, just like usual. I've heard it a million times before, but for some reason I just saw red this time. My anger overwhelmed me, and I finally told her what I really thought of her. I let her have it, Mom. I let her have it big time. I think she hates me now. She's been giving me the cold shoulder ever since.
What did you say to her?
I told her I think you're the best mom in the world, and I'm proud to be your daughter. I said I'm glad I didn't turn into a toxic, hateful witch like her. I said I feel sad that I'm related to someone so horrible. Then I told her I hate her and never want to see her again.
Wow, I see. Well, that explains why she got mad.
I couldn't take it anymore, Mom. I was sick and tired of holding my tongue all the time. Her attitude towards you is awful. Not only that, but who the hell tries to poison someone just because they're mad someone had the nerve to speak their mind? She's crazy.
But if that's why you did it, why didn't you tell the rest of the family?
Because she flipped out at me and started shouting so loud that I couldn't even find an opening to explain myself. I gave up and decided to leave it alone until I could explain to you and Dad when you got back.
So that's what happened. Wow, Annalise, I have to say I'm pretty shocked. But I always knew you were strong-willed. You're bold and gutsy, just like your dad.
Make sure Dad knows what really happened, too. I don't want him to think I'm the kind of person who'd do something so crazy without good reason.
Don't worry, Annalise. Both me and your dad had a feeling there was more to the story than what your grandma was telling us. Still, I never saw this coming. Talk about a bolt out of the blue.
Are you mad with me?
I'm mad, but I'm not mad with you. I know you were just trying to protect me. Your dad and I could never be angry with you for that. Thank you for standing up to your grandma on my behalf, sweetie. I can't tell you how much it means that you do that for me.
I had to remake my salsa from scratch because of that unruly little brat of yours. She's out of control, I tell you. When will you and my Timothy be coming back? Hurry up, get your asses back here and make the demon child apologize.
Sorry, Betty, we already went home.
Excuse me? You went home? When? Why? Where are you now?
One thing's for sure, we're not at your house anymore. We all snuck out and drove away while you weren't looking. We just arrived back home.
You're at home? What the hell do you think you're playing at, woman? I never gave you permission to leave. You think you get to run away before I get my apology? Look at you, you pathetic, sniveling coward. Looks like the apple didn't fall far from the tree with you and the demon brat. I've had it with the both of you.
By the way, you should know that me, Tim, and Annalise weren't the only ones who went home.
Excuse me? What are you talking about?
Haven't you realized? There's no one left at your house. Have you been in the living room?
What in God's name are you talking about?
All of your relatives left while you were preparing food in the kitchen. None of them wanted to risk eating your cooking.
Oh my God! Why on earth would everyone go home? Explain yourself. What did you do?
Are you telling me you didn't notice almost a dozen people walking out of your front door and driving away? You must really be focused on the cooking, huh? I wonder why. Could it be that you weren't really focusing on the cooking at all, but trying to poison me and my daughter?
Poison you? What? I have no idea what you're talking about.
The reason Annalise threw your salsa in the trash is because she saw you mixing something suspicious into it. She did what she did to protect me.
What are you talking about, woman? This is crazy talk, I tell you. I'd never do anything like that. Don't say such slanderous things. Are you trying to damage my good reputation? I'll have your head on a plate for this.
You can drop the phony outrage now. I found the trash bag with the salsa in it and emptied it out on the lawn in front of your house. Some bugs started gathering to eat it, but within a few minutes, they all stopped moving. There was clearly something very potent and not fit for human consumption in that salsa. You spiked it with pesticide, didn't you?
No, if there was anything in there, it had nothing to do with me. I don't have the foggiest idea what you're talking about.
There's just one slight problem with that. Everyone who was at the house saw you cooking. You're the only one who could have possibly poisoned that salsa. Our relatives were so shocked when they heard what you'd done, their jaws practically hit the floor. Tim encouraged everyone to go home. He had no choice but to cancel this year's Thanksgiving due to your dangerous, deranged behavior.
That's why everyone went home? But they all went out of their way to drive here and spend the day with me.
It's hardly a surprise that no one would want to stick around to find out whether their food had been poisoned too. You can't blame them for having trust issues after what you did. At least half of the guests had kids with them. If anything, it'd be weirder if they wanted to stay.
You mean you made everyone think I'd poisoned their food? There's no way I'd do something like that. Why did you have to go and give them the wrong idea? You've turned my entire family against me.
How can you say that there's no way you would do something like that when that's literally what you did today? What's worse, you tried to paint Annalise as the villain because she was clever enough to figure out what you were planning on doing. You're supposed to be a responsible adult, but you're nothing but a disgrace, you vile, reprehensible excuse for a human being. It's bad enough that you tried to poison me and my daughter in the first place. The fact that you try and blame a 15-year-old kid to save your ass leaves me no choice but to conclude you're totally irredeemable and shouldn't be associated with under any circumstances. Both of our families are disgusted with and terrified of you in equal measure.
God damn it! Why did you have to go blowing it out of proportion to everyone? Sure, that stuff might have made you sick, but there wouldn't have been any serious side effects. It was just a prank, just a lighthearted prank to brighten up the mood a little on Thanksgiving. Why so serious? Can't you even have a joke with someone these days? I figured Annalise should be the butt of the joke by way of teaching her a lesson for being so impertinent and disrespectful towards me. You're her mother, so naturally you bear some of the responsibility for her attitude.
She told me all about how she stood up to you. She said she gave you what for because she finally got tired of listening to you badmouth me all the time. It's hardly surprising she'd be pissed off with you for constantly insulting her mom to her face like that. I mean, who even does that? Just how rotten and black-hearted are you?
Who the hell do you think you are? You will speak to me with the proper respect, young lady. I'm your mother-in-law and superior, and you will fix this disgraceful attitude of yours immediately.
Just because you're my mom-in-law doesn't mean you can say and do whatever you please to me. There's a thing called basic human decency, and you seem to be sorely lacking in it. I won't deny I hold some of the responsibility in this for keeping quiet and tolerating your bullshit for so long. I didn't want to rock the boat for Annalise's sake. But it turns out she's actually hated you for a long, long time because of how you treat me.
What? My own granddaughter hates me?
Yep, she was hiding her true feelings towards you this whole time. She knew that if she said anything to upset you, I'd be the one who got it in the neck. But she won't have to carry on tolerating you anymore. Me, Tim, and Annalise are never coming to your house again.
What? You're never coming here again? No, what are you saying? This is absurd.
I'm not saying anything. This was Tim's idea. Even your own son hates you, Betty. He said we're cutting you out of our lives for our own safety. I mean, please, how did you think he was going to react to you trying to poison his wife and daughter? With gratitude? This will be the last time we ever speak.
No. Are you joking? Please tell me you're joking. No. Come back, please. Just come back and let's talk this through like sensible, mature adults. You can't do this. You haven't given me a chance to defend myself. Oh, how could you be so horrible?
Us? Horrible? You seem to be forgetting the small detail of you trying to feed me and my daughter pesticide-laced salsa. Something tells me none of our relatives are ever going to be spending another Thanksgiving at your house. I hope you're used to being alone. Not just at Thanksgiving either.
No, stop this, please. You're ostracizing me from my entire social circle here, Victoria. Don't you understand the gravity of this situation? Do you have any idea how bad this is going to be for my mental health? Why should I lose my whole family over this? What you're doing is preposterous and immoral. You and that demon brat have ruined my Thanksgiving, and now you're trying to ruin my life.
Wait, hold on a sec. So you tried to poison us, but you're the one getting mad? You clearly have no intention of apologizing. Whatever, I don't care. It's not like we'd forgive you even if you did. Goodbye forever, Betty.
No, wait, what am I supposed to do about this enormous turkey I bought? You can't not eat turkey on Thanksgiving, it's a sin. You really think you just get to leave and go home after I bought all these expensive ingredients to feed you all?
Don't worry, we got a hold of a turkey on the way home from one of Tim's friends who runs a farm. It's roasting nicely in the oven as we speak. We have no intention of ever seeing you again. This will be the last time we ever speak. Don't bother contacting any of us anymore. We'll block you if you ignore our wishes.
Oh my God, you're really serious, aren't you? Is my son really abandoning me, his own mother, for you?
Tim loves me and Annalise more than anything. He lost any desire to have anything to do with you the moment he found out you tried to poison us. Unlike you, Tim cherishes his family and has a sense of right and wrong. Thank God he didn't take after you. What a nightmare that would have been. With that, the tradition of family Thanksgiving at Betty's house died out, and none of our relatives ever visited her again. To say everyone was disgusted with her for what she did would be an understatement. Some even suggested we should report her to the cops. Tim and I were happy enough to stop at cutting her out of our lives, so after washing our hands of the wicked witch once and for all, we left what to do with her next to the rest of the family. She's probably feeling very, very lonely now that no one wants anything more to do with her. According to one of my friends, who also happens to be her neighbor, she looks like she aged about 10 years in the last 3 months. I'm guessing it probably has to do something with the soul-crushing isolation and regret eating away at her. Apparently, she stopped leaving the house entirely except to take out the trash and is virtually a complete hermit now. Hopefully, she lives out the rest of her years wallowing in misery and despair, cooped up in that lonely house where she can't hurt anyone.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Angie, I can hear the baby cry from here. Can you not make him quiet already?
I'm sorry, Jenna. He's been very cranky.
Why haven't you figured out how to stop your baby from crying? He cries all day. I should have kicked you out of the annex when Corey left for his assignment in Europe.
I'm really sorry. I'm trying my best.
Ugh, you're so dumb. Also, you haven't been cleaning the house well since you had your baby. Your cooking is also boring now. You shouldn't be slacking off on your chores.
Sorry, but it's very hard taking care of the baby and doing all the chores. Without Corey, I have to take care of the baby on my own, so I don't have enough time.
I wasn't asking how hard your life is, was I?
Can you please help with the chores just for a little while? Please?
Hell no. You and Corey handle everything around the house, while I let you live in the annex. That was the deal. Why do I have to do anything to help you?
I can't do everything on my own, Jenna.
Yeah, right. You're just being lazy because your husband is not around.
That's not true. Don't you get it? I'm raising my first child on my own. I haven't even had the time to rest my body after having him.
Stop making up excuses. I will not allow any laziness in my house. I don't care if you just had your baby or not.
Fine. I will handle the chores. But please don't get angry if the baby cries.
I usually don't mind my family's baby crying, but yours? Ugh. Your baby crying is just annoying.
But my son is also your family?
I can't think of him as one because he is yours. I don't even find him cute.
What?
So don't make him cry. I'm losing my mind listening to him scream all day. Next time I hear him cry inside the house, I am going to ask you to leave the building.
Jenna, I didn't know you don't recognize us as family.
Why would I? You are worthless.
Why did you let us live in the annex in the first place then?
It's simple. Because you work for a big firm.
Huh?
Your pay is quite good, isn't it? Added with Corey's salary, that's a lot of income.
Well, higher than average, I guess.
So I thought my life would become easier if I let you live here. You two would pay for everything and handle all the chores. That's the only reason why I said yes.
I see. If I didn't work for a big firm, you wouldn't have agreed for us to live here. Is that what you're saying?
Duh. But then Corey had to leave to Europe for his long-term assignment. And now I'm stuck with you and the baby. This wasn't part of my plan. I will have you pay every penny for making me go through this stress. Angie, what are you doing now? Are you home?
Yes. I'm done with cleaning soon.
Perfect then. Can you clean the guest room as well? Make sure to open the windows to let fresh air into that room. You will also need to change to fresh bed sheets.
Are you having a guest over?
My daughter is coming.
Emily is. Okay then. I will clean the guest room. How long will she be here?
She's not visiting. She's going to live with me. I only have the guest room available right now, so she will have to stay there for the time being.
Wait, what do you mean she's living with you?
She got a divorce recently, so she is coming back.
A divorce?
Things weren't going well with her ex-husband.
Oh, that's too bad. I thought they got along well.
I guess we only see the surface of a relationship. Apparently they haven't spoken in over a year, and she was being bullied by her mother-in-law.
I see. It must have been hard for her.
I guess so, but it's all good. She should be getting loads of money from the divorce. Rather than continuing with the difficult marriage, she gets money. And freedom at the same time. Isn't that great?
Has she gotten that much money?
Yes, she should have. Her ex-father-in-law runs a company. And they also own a giant estate in California.
Oh, I remember hearing about that.
Their house is like a castle. And Emily's ex also runs several companies, so he is loaded.
Wow.
They didn't sign any prenuptials when they got married, so she should have gotten enough money via divisions. I wouldn't mind getting a divorce at all if I were her.
They are real celebrities. I can't even imagine the kind of money she's gotten.
I bet it's a lot. Like millions.
Millions?
It's not just one company he owns, plus he has properties. Maybe she got enough to get by for generations.
If it were millions, perhaps. But if she has that much, how come she's living with you?
What? What the hell do you want to say?
I just thought it's odd for her to live with you when she has enough money to get by on her own. I mean, if she has that much, she can get a house easily. Why has she decided to come live with you?
Because she is sweet and wants to take care of her elderly mother. She has always been since she was a child.
Just to confirm, she's not living with you temporarily. She's actually going to stay here for good?
Yes. I am happy I am able to live with my daughter again. This life with my annoying daughter-in-law has been so suffocating.
Right.
What? Do you have a problem?
No, I don't. I just find it very sudden.
So? What's the big deal if a daughter decides to live with her mother?
Nothing.
I bet living with her is even better than living with Corey. We share the same values, so we get along.
Yes, I know you two are close.
So much better than spending time with you. Anyway, so that's what's happening. Make sure you are not rude to Emily. She had a rough time with her divorce, so she needs to be treated with care.
Okay.
You might be older than her, but you will not act bossy to her. Do you understand?
Yes.
Perhaps I will ask her to remodel the house when she's back. I'm sure she has enough money to take care of it. Oh, I'm so happy she will be here soon.
I'm happy for you.
She said she will be here by next week, so have the room ready for her and make sure the room is spotless.
Hi, Jenna. Do you know if the lock of the front door is broken? I can't open the door with my keys.
Oh, you're back.
Yes, just now. The clinic was very crowded.
Oh.
So about the keys. Do you know why they won't open?
Why? Because you are not welcomed in this house anymore.
Huh?
Emily is coming home tomorrow, so you are no longer needed here.
Hold on a second. What are you talking about?
I'm saying you don't belong here anymore. I gathered your stuff, so take them and go. They are in the shed in the garage.
You can't be serious. I knew you didn't want me here, but you can't just kick me out all of a sudden. Where am I supposed to go?
Well, boo-hoo, I'm sorry. But my daughter is coming back tomorrow. She will need a place to live.
So I prepared the guest room for her.
She can't stay in that tiny room forever. She needs more space if she is staying. You can tell Corey we decided not to live together anymore. As long as I have Emily, I don't need you to.
Fine, I understand.
You do? That's great! I can finally get rid of you and live elegantly with my rich daughter.
Live elegantly? I really don't think that will happen.
Funny. I didn't know you can be so jealous.
No, I'm not. I just believe that things won't go as you wish.
What the hell are you talking about? Ugh, you're so annoying. Always have been and always will be. I am done with you already. Can't you just go?
I will go immediately. But no matter what happens from here on, don't think Corey or I would help you in any way. Not after you've kicked me and my son out like this. We refuse to be involved with you in any kind of way.
Me ask for help? There is no way. And don't you ever come asking for money to me or my daughter.
Of course not. And you probably won't end up with money anyway. As you wish, I'm leaving now. Goodbye, Jenna.
Angie, can I talk to you for a second?
Oh, what is it, Jenna? I thought we agreed not to be involved with each other anymore.
Well, things have changed. I have a favor to ask.
No.
I haven't even asked yet. I'm desperate here.
You said you were done with me. Don't you remember saying that when Emily was moving in with you?
About that, we have an issue.
So you didn't get what you wanted after all. Emily didn't have any money, did she? See, I told you things weren't going to go as you wish.
Did you know?
I've heard rumors.
She got kicked out with nothing. We don't have any money.
So I've heard. That's so unfortunate.
It really is. It's ridiculous. They have so much money and yet don't give her a penny. We have to sue them. This is not fair.
I see. Good luck.
Don't be such a stranger. You have to help. We want to hire a lawyer.
I will pass. I don't want to waste my money.
Waste? We are doing this to gain money.
Even if that was so, there's nothing Corey and I can do to help. Bye.
Oh, wait. Once we win money from them, we will give you your share. So you need to pay for the lawyer.
Hell no. You won't get any money.
Of course we will. Do you know how much they have?
Jenna, let me ask you. Do you even know why Emily got kicked out without a penny?
Not really. I asked her, but she won't tell me.
Because the divorce was her fault.
Her fault?
Emily was the reason for everything. She was abusing her ill mother-in-law.
Huh?
Read again. She was abusing her mother-in-law.
What the hell are you talking about? She was the one being bullied. That's what she told me.
She probably lied to you so you would take her in. Her mother-in-law has Alzheimer's. Emily was beating her and giving her rotten food behind her husband's back, and was using up his money to spoil herself.
That can't be. She would never do anything like that.
It's true. They have proof. Her mother-in-law ended up in the hospital.
What proof?
Her husband became suspicious of why his mother was always bruised, so he set up surveillance cameras in the house. It captured Emily physically abusing her. Her husband kicked her out as soon as he found out.
No, that's why she didn't get anything?
Yep.
But still, there should be divisions.
I'm sure that's usually the case in any divorce, but it looks like Emily had to agree not to get anything.
What? Why?
Because he was going to report her to the police. They agreed that she will not receive anything in exchange of him not reporting her to the police. That was the deal.
Police? He's overreacting, isn't he? I'm sure she was just playing around with her, right?
Playing around? Jenna, I said her mother-in-law was hospitalized and bruised. Emily was violently abusing her. She can easily be charged with assault.
It could have been because the lady was clumsy and just fell.
No, it was Emily. She also had food poisoning. Because Emily was giving her rotten garbage to eat. Don't you see it could have killed an ill and weak person like her?
This is all a lie. I don't believe any of it.
Her husband was outraged, but he was nice enough to settle. On top of not reporting her to the police, he also agreed not to sue her. She only had to agree not to receive any divisions.
Oh God, no. Will she really not get anything then?
Probably not.
What has she done? She has made me look like a fool.
You got excited a bit too quickly there. So now you know why we will not be helping you. Good luck if you still want to pursue them for some cash. But I wouldn't recommend it if you want to keep your daughter out of jail.
She never told me anything. She only said she wanted to be with me after going through her divorce. I had no idea she had done something so stupid. I wouldn't have agreed to live with her if I knew she had no money.
Too bad you can't have that elegant life you hoped for. Well, good luck living with her.
No, I don't want to live with her anymore. I've been paying for everything since she'd been here. If she has nothing, then she is just a burden to me.
Oh? She is just like you, though. You bullied me all along. Made us pay for everything while we were living the annex. I'm sure you two will get along.
When did I ever bully you? Don't be silly.
Excuse me? You began to insult me the moment Corey left for Europe. You said you don't consider me and my newborn son a part of your family and kicked us out ruthlessly. You don't think that is bullying?
Well, that was, I was just playing around with you.
Cut your crap, Jenna. You called me dumb, useless, worthless. The list goes on forever.
I admit I went a little overboard. I'm sorry. I didn't mean any of it.
Thank you for apologizing. I didn't know you could do that.
Okay, so we're good? Will you come back and take care of your elderly mother-in-law? I will ask Emily to leave immediately.
No. Corey and I have made a decision a while ago to cut all ties with you.
Why? I need you to. I won't be mean to you anymore, I promise.
I said no. There is not a chance I will let you use me again. You should let Emily stay so that you have company. You don't have anyone else anyway.
Please, I don't have enough money to get by. There's no way I will survive with her.
I'm sure you will figure something out. I have nothing to do with you. But I am glad you kicked me out, because I finally got rid of you and can live peacefully with my family now. Unfortunately for Jenna, her daughter, Jobless, has been staying like a parasite. The last I've heard, the two live off on Jenna's very little pension money. After the final conversation I had with Jenna, she found out that Emily was also in debt. When Jenna began to receive reminders and notices in the mail, she freaked and reached out to us. By that time, we had already blocked her from contacting us. We recently heard she is still looking for us, asking our relatives about where we might be. Her poor neighbors can hear Jenna and Emily screaming at each other all day, and it's apparently every day. I'm sure Jenna is regretting that she made decisions based on her selfishness to want to live off of other people's money. I was shocked when she actually kicked me and my baby boy out, but I'm glad I was able to get away from her. I plan to live peacefully with my husband and son, without ever seeing her again.
Alex, are you home yet?
Hey, Mom. Yup, just got back.
Has the invite arrived yet? To your cousin Selena's wedding.
Oh, it has, now that you mention it. I haven't opened it yet, though.
It's on the second Saturday of December, 3 months from now. Don't forget it. Make sure you book it off from work ASAP. I won't hear anything about you not coming.
Jeez, Mom, I know. I'll be there.
You're welcome to bring your boyfriend along, too. How does that sound?
How does it sound? I don't know. I don't have a boyfriend.
Huh? You still don't have one? How many years has it been now?
Is that any of your business?
Of course it is. If my own daughter's love life isn't my business, then what is? You're my flesh and blood. Dear, what mother would want to see their daughter grow old alone? I can't think of anything more tragic. You're already over 30. You're no spring chicken anymore. I really do feel awful for you, dear.
You ever tried looking in a mirror? You didn't find a new partner after Dad died. How many years has it been now? You're just as alone as I am.
Wrong. I have your brother Kyle here with me. Even without your father around, I'm still not alone, because I was wise enough to have children. But you don't have a boyfriend or kids. Where does that leave you in the grand scheme of things?
I take it you're asking what my plan is for the future when I get old. Well, to tell you the truth, I haven't thought about it. But if I'm still single after I retire and my body starts failing me, I'll just enter old folks' home.
Alex, don't even say such things. I can't think of anything more tragic and depressing. Dear, oh dear, you're my eldest daughter. You're supposed to be the one with your head screwed on properly. In spite of that, your little brother Kyle has his life in far better order. It's supposed to be the other way around.
You speak as if there's a proper way for people to be at different stages in their life. And let me guess, you're the one who gets to define this arbitrary standard? Everyone's different, Mom. Anyway, forget Kyle. You should be more grateful for Emma. What kind of wife actually agrees to move in with her mother-in-law in this day and age? She's 1 in a million.
She wanted to because I'm such an amazing, virtuous person.
What?
Which part don't you get? She obviously wanted to move in with me because I'm such a fantastic mother-in-law.
Is that really something you say about yourself? I can only imagine what Emma's life must be like there. You're not bullying her or anything, are you?
How dare you? What a ridiculous question. What on earth must you think of me to even ask something like that?
You really want to know? I think you're the product of a bygone age of the worldview based on oppressive, misogynistic stereotypes. The fact you can say stuff like a woman's true happiness in life is to get married, or single women all end up miserable and depressed with a straight face, tells me all I need to know about how you see the world. I'm sure you wouldn't hesitate for 1 second to go off spewing this stuff to Emma, and the thought is honestly a little upsetting since she's stuck in the same house as you.
You don't have to worry about her. Unlike you, she knows how to do what she's told. She doesn't give me back chat at every opportunity. She's a very good girl, actually. I treat her an awful lot better than you because she isn't constantly doing things to annoy me.
I'm pleased to hear that. Marriage isn't everything, but who knows? Maybe I'll find the right person one day, maybe I won't. You might get grandkids from me too one day, but I can't guarantee anything.
Goodness gracious me, Alex. I really don't think this is a laughing matter. I just don't understand you sometimes. Grandkids born to your daughter-in-law and your actual daughter, your own flesh and blood, are not the same.
Seriously, Mom? Please stop speaking like that. I'm sure you like the idea of me giving you grandkids because you think it'd be easier to get them to do what you say if they were mine. But Emma's been kind enough to move in with you. Don't you think you should show a little more gratitude in the way you talk about her? I hope you never say stuff like that when her or Kyle are around.
Oh, please, I'm not that stupid. Relax. I was just thinking out loud.
Well, in that case, I'd prefer if you didn't say things like that around me again either. Can you promise me you'll never say anything like that to her? She'd be crushed. I can't help but worry about her now.
Didn't I just tell you not to bother? Do you ever shut up? You're like a broken record. Is there an off button?
I'm the broken record. You're one to talk. You order me to get married virtually every single day. You're so boring, it's a wonder I don't fall asleep every time you message me. Anyway, gotta eat. Bye.
Excuse me, young lady, you will wait. This conversation is not over.
I don't have anything else to say. Besides, I'm exhausted from work. I really am going. Bye. Mom, is Kyle away on a business trip at the moment?
Yes he is. Why do you ask? Is something wrong?
It's Saturday, so I asked him to come and pick me up from the station. But he told me he's not in town anymore.
Huh? You wanted him to collect you from the station? Does that mean you're coming home?
Yes, it does. Are you surprised?
You can't just show up without telling me. Do you really expect me to be able to take you in without any warning? I need time to make arrangements. This is just plain rude, Alex.
Huh? Wait, why? I have a bedroom, don't I? Is having me over a problem?
Of course it is. We're busy living our own lives here. You don't just get to barge in unannounced. It's not that I don't want you to come, but you can't expect me to have things ready if you turn up without telling me.
Jeez, Mom, I'm sorry. But do you really have to get so mad?
Then there's food to think about. Emma would really appreciate if you told us you were coming too.
But she told me I was welcome back home any time before.
She was clearly just being polite. No one ever actually means it when they say things like that. This might be the family home, but you don't live here anymore. And it's very presumptuous of you to think you have the right to barge in unannounced like this. You know what? Don't come. You're not welcome here today.
Look, Mom, I said I'm sorry for springing this on you at such short notice. But is there really any need for this? Don't you think you're being horrible?
No, I don't. Allow me to repeat myself. Do not come home today.
Why not? There are some things I need to take from my room. I'm coming.
Fine, just take what you need and leave.
What? Why? Why can't I stay over? Our neighborhood's hardly full of hotels, is it?
There's nowhere for you to sleep. All we have is a dusty old bed.
That's okay, a dusty old bed works for me. I'm stopping by at a coffee shop with a friend who came to the station to pick me up. I'll be home when we're done.
I'm not even at the house right now.
Huh?
I just left for a girls' hot spring resort holiday with my friends. We're driving out now.
Oh, I see. Is that why you're panicking?
I don't know what you mean. I'm not panicking at all. I just wish you would have told me earlier so I could get you a room and some food ready. I mean, really? You can't seriously expect to have a room ready in a house you don't even live in on such a short notice.
It's fine. I can do all that by myself. I really am sorry, Mom. I won't do it again. I'll let you know when I'm coming next time.
Yes, please do. Oh, I forgot to tell you. I think Emma's out too.
She is? I guess she's bound to go out if you or Kyle aren't home. I'll message her later on. That reminds me, I heard someone suspicious was spotted in the neighborhood lately.
Huh?
My friend told me. Do you know anything about it? She said it looked like some sort of soaking wet, ghostly-looking woman. Apparently all the local school kids are calling her the dripping lady. It's kinda scary.
Sounds like a load of nonsense to me. I don't know anything about it. I've never seen anyone like that. Probably just a silly story the kids came up with. You know what they're like at that age.
Maybe, but there were some times weird old guys would hang around the neighborhood back when I was a kid. It could be real. Anyway, when will you be back from your holiday?
Tomorrow evening.
Oh, really? In that case, I might be able to catch you before I leave. Stay safe. Enjoy your holiday. Hey, Emma. Sorry to keep messaging you like this. You said you were out shopping, right? Does that mean you'll be eating out for supper?
No, I was thinking of eating something at home when I got back, actually.
In that case, how about I rustle something up for us? I can use the stuff in the fridge. I'll let my mom know what I've used before she gets back, so don't worry about her flipping out or anything.
Thanks, I'd like that. Sorry it's so late.
Don't be silly, Emma. It's fine. It must be nice to have some time to yourself with my mom and brother gone. You probably want to relax and enjoy yourself.
No, it's not like that. I was just about to come home.
Oh, really? Where'd you go anyway? There have been sightings of a suspicious soaking wet woman around the neighborhood lately. You should be careful. Oh, I know. Let me come and pick you up. We have the car here, and you probably went out on foot, right? It's already dark out, and I'd be lying if I said I wasn't a little worried about you with all these strange rumors going around.
It's fine, don't worry. That woman is me.
Huh? It's you? Wait, what? You're the subject of the rumors? But that doesn't make sense.
Yes.
Well, they did say it was a woman, but huh? I don't understand. Apparently she was wet, though. From the top of her head to the tips of her toes. How could it be you? I don't follow.
Because I had water poured on me.
What? By who?
Your mom?
What? My mother?
I can't prove it, though. I know it sounds crazy, and you probably don't believe me.
No, I believe you. Trust me, I know better than anyone what my mom's like. But wow, I have to say I'm surprised. I didn't think she'd go as far as bullying you like this. Pouring water on you? This is a new low even for her. Jesus.
I'm sorry, I shouldn't have told you.
Don't apologize, sweetie. You haven't done anything wrong. If anything, I should be apologizing for my brother. He should have never let this happen. I can't believe you had to go through that. I'm sorry.
I've been working so hard to win your mom's approval. I wanted nothing more than for this shared living arrangement to work. I do everything she asks immediately, and it never seems to get me anywhere with her. I'm starting to think she'll never accept me.
Emma, think about it. Do you really need or want the approval of someone who would pour water over you? Never mind approval, she should be begging for forgiveness. I could throttle her for this. Did she do anything to you today? She almost lost her mind when I told her I was coming home on short notice.
Probably because she just poured water all over me. It was always the same routine. She'd fill up her bucket, drench me with water, then demand I go out to buy her groceries.
Oh my god, she really is the worst.
Oh, Alex, I was wrong. I do have a way of proving what she did.
Huh?
Usually when she abuses me, it tends to be verbal. She never does it when Kyle or anyone else is around. She's super sly. But after you surprised her by coming home today, she sent me a message. She almost never messages me, so she must be in a real panic. It says, "There will be hell to pay if you dare let Alex see you soaking wet, young lady."
Wait, is that why you're still out so late?
Yes, I've been hiding in a nearby abandoned factory all day.
You have got to be kidding me. I think I know the factory you mean. I'm coming to get you right now. Hold tight, okay? The nights are getting colder now. You must be freezing. It's dangerous for you to stay out any longer. Emma, I'm so sorry my mom did this to you. I promise I'm gonna protect you from her from now on. I'll never, ever let her do anything like this again.
Good evening, Alex. You don't seem to be in the house anymore, so I take it you went home.
Yup. I take it that means you're back at the house then?
Yes, the highways were all crowded. It took a lot longer to get back than I expected. Sorry again that I couldn't make any preparations for having you stay with us, dear.
Don't worry about it.
So, how did it go? I hope you didn't cause Emma any trouble while you were around. That girl can be very sensitive sometimes, and the last thing she needs is you getting in her way.
Did I cause her any trouble? I wonder.
I wonder? What's that supposed to mean? Did you do something to her? She's not in the house either, and she isn't answering my text or picking up the phone. Do you know something about this? What's going on?
Something tells me that might have something to do with her being sick and tired of you pouring buckets of water over her. Which is why no matter how desperately you try to call her, she won't be picking up.
Huh? What the devil are you talking about? I don't know anything about that.
She told me everything, you vicious bully.
Me, a vicious bully? I've never heard anything so ridiculous. What's gotten into you, Alex? I'm nothing of the sort. I haven't a vicious bone in my body, and I wouldn't bully a fly. Besides, you do know Kyle lives with us, don't you? How on earth could I bully my son's wife with him around? He'd be furious with me. Really, Alex, you shouldn't joke about things like this.
You're right. He would be furious. That's why you always made sure he was never around when you tormented and abused her, isn't it? You poured buckets of water on her and forced her to go out shopping soaking wet every single day. You're sick in the head. At least now I know why you were panicking so much when I announced I was coming home. You were worried about me finding out.
No, you're wrong. It wasn't like that at all. This has to be a setup. She's trying to paint me as a wicked mother-in-law, but it couldn't be further from the truth. She might come off as sweet and innocent, but when no one else is looking, she's spiteful and wicked. She has it in for me. To tell you the truth, dear, I'm struggling to cope with it at all. Please, Alex, you have to believe me. I'm your mother.
Wait, so let me get this straight. You're saying that Emma is lying about you bullying her and is in fact the one bullying you?
Yes, exactly. She's trying to drive me out of this house so she can have it and my son all to herself. I just know it. Listen, darling, the only reason I've kept quiet about it for so long is because I know how busy you are, and I didn't want to worry you. I thought if I put up with it, she might stop eventually. But no, it just keeps getting worse. She's so horrible to me. She calls me every name under the sun. She makes threats, she mocks me for being old, and gloats about how she's going to rob me of everything I hold dear. Oh, when Kyle isn't around, of course.
Prove it.
I can't prove it. That's what I mean. She's cunning, Alex. She schemes. She only does it when we're alone so no one finds out. She's as nice as pie when Kyle's in the house, like butter wouldn't melt.
In that case, I believe Emma, because unlike you, she has proof.
Proof?
You messaged her the day I came back, didn't you? You mentioned how she was soaking wet after you pulled your little bucket trick. How did it go again? Oh yeah. There will be hell to pay if you dare let Alex see you soaking wet, young lady. You told her to stay outside in the cold, soaking wet though, and only come back to the house once her clothes have dried out.
Oh, that? That was, it was terribly silly of her, but Emma tripped and fell into a bucket of water while she was vacuuming the house just before I went out for my holiday.
Oh, she did she? Even if that was true, she could have just changed her clothes or even taken a shower. How does tripping over at the house and getting wet lead to her being forced to stay outside completely drenched and freezing cold, and being banned from coming home until she dried off? I fail to see how A leads to B, Mom.
Alex, no, I wasn't like that, I swear. You're making a huge misunderstanding. Look, I admit there might have been times when I poured water on her, but I never did it to bully or upset her. I just felt like I had to defend myself because she was harassing me. It was a counterattack. I was never the aggressor.
Emma was harassing you, huh? Any examples?
Like I told you before, she berated and insulted me when there was no one else around.
She berated you?
She called me a decrepit old hag and told me I wasn't welcome around the house anymore.
Pathetic. Is that all you can come up with? You're gonna have to give me something more specific, or at least provable. Because Emma wrote in her diary every single day in explicit detail about your wicked campaign of abuse against her. How it started, how it escalated, what you did, when you did it, how you changed when Kylo's around. It was like some horrific non-fiction horror novel. She wrote all about how you'd throw away her meals after she'd spent all day slaving over a hot stove to feed you all. And the rest, to be honest, it's too much for me to even put into messages.
I told you she's lying. Just because it's written doesn't make it true. She's doing this to frame me. Anyone can write anything in a diary.
The sheer volume of content in that diary isn't something you can come up with on a whim overnight. She must have spent hours and hours, if not days, writing all the stuff in there. She must have gone through several different pens because the color of the ink changes from time to time. I don't know if she was crying when she wrote it, but some of the pages are covered in smudges. I asked her why she didn't tell Kyle about what you were doing. She broke down in tears and said she put up with it because she was desperate to win your approval.
Emma, please hear me out. I never did any of this through malice or ill will.
What could this possibly be other than ill will and malice? You mean you poured buckets of water over her out of love and compassion?
You know how I've always had a tendency to speak my mind. She said she wanted my approval, but all I was doing was treating her like my own daughter. Surely you remember how I used to be with you. It was no different to that. I was just strict from time to time, that's all.
Yeah, you most definitely do have a tendency to speak your mind. But you never poured buckets of water over me. Remember before how you said you treat her better than me? You were lying, weren't you?
If she got the wrong end of the stick and misinterpreted my strictness as bullying, I apologize. Where did she go? Do you know where she is right now?
She came back to my house with me. I'm never letting her anywhere near you again. She didn't misunderstand anything. How about you just admit what a bullying tyrant you are? At least then I could respect your honesty. If you don't even have the decency to do that, then me and you are done.
Alex, please, I'm sorry. I admit it, I'm sorry. Please just tell Emma to come back home. I don't want her to think she isn't welcome around here. Aha! How about I cook her some lamb and potatoes? How does that sound? Kyle will be furious if he finds out about this. You have to promise me you won't tell him. He might even kick me out.
The time for reconciliatory lamb and potatoes is past, Mom. And obviously, Kyle's gonna be pissed. What kind of husband wouldn't be after what you did to his wife?
I swear I'll never be mean to Emma again. I'll make up for everything I did to her. If I do ever go back to my old ways, I'll happily let them both walk out of my life forever. I can change, I swear. That's why I'm begging you. Please just give me one more chance. I won't let you down this time, I mean it. I'm committed to becoming a better person. A son is a precious thing to a mother. I can't bear the thoughts of losing my Kyle. I just thought he was out of her league. I never understood why he married the likes of her when it could have any woman he wanted. I thought he could do better.
Emma's an amazing woman and a loyal wife. Let's face it, it takes a special breed of woman to willingly move in with you.
I'm sorry. I was out of control. Thank you for giving me pause to stop and think about my behavior, dear. I don't know what I'd do without you. I feel truly awful. I'm so sorry.
It's not me you need to apologize to.
Of course I'll apologize to Emma, too. I'll do whatever it takes to earn her forgiveness. I'll work hard to show her how truly, deeply sorry I am. Please just don't tell Kyle, I'm begging you. If he finds out, I'm finished. Done. So what do you say, dear? Can we keep this all on the down low?
Do you seriously think that's still a possibility? It's too late.
Huh? What do you mean too late?
I already told Kyle. He said him and Emma are moving out.
Oh my god, no! This is exactly why I didn't want him finding out. What have you done? I'll be all on my own. Are you telling me to live out my final years in loneliness and isolation? Is that what you want for your elderly mother? I raised you and Kyle with nothing but love and tenderness.
You wouldn't have ended up on your own if you didn't wage a hateful bullying campaign against your daughter-in-law. Actions have consequences. Emma was the loveliest wife a mother could ever hope for their son to have, and you treated her like dirt. She wanted to move in with you because she wanted you all to get along more than anything. You're the one who ruined everything, and you don't have anyone to blame but yourself. I never told you this, but if Kyle and Emma hadn't moved in with you, I was thinking of moving in myself. But now that I know how you treated Emma, I have no intention of going anywhere near you, and I certainly wouldn't be looking after you.
Alex, please, don't abandon your mother. I put my heart and soul into raising you and your brother. I gave everything I had and more to make sure you're always happy and never wanted for anything. I raised you with nothing but love.
That's funny, because from what I remember, you were constantly complaining about us, insulting us, and barking orders at us like we were your personal slaves. You have a very selective memory. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying you were never nice to us at all. But mine and Kyle's childhoods and what you did to Emma are two completely separate issues. I'm ashamed and embarrassed to call a malicious bully like you my mother. How would you feel if someone else's parents were treating me or Kyle like that?
You're right, I'm sorry. I feel so awful about what I've done. Can't you seem remorseful? Please, I'm begging you. Just don't leave me on my own.
You did this, Mom. The only reason you haven't been on your own this whole time is because Emma was kind enough to agree to her and Kyle moving in with you. It has nothing to do with you being such an amazing, virtuous person as you put it. Virtue? Don't make me laugh. The only person you care about is yourself. Kyle declared to our mom he was cutting her out of his and Emma's lives the moment he got back from his business trip. I agreed to let the two of them stay at my place until they found a place of their own. I could tell Emma was feeling pretty down. The way my mom treated her had obviously taken its toll. I did my best to make sure she could relax and feel comfortable while she was staying with me. Finding herself completely alone in the world all of a sudden must have taken its toll on my mom, because when I bumped into her around town a month later, she looked like she'd aged 10 years. The color was drained from her face, and far from the brash, sharp-tongued loudmouth we once knew her as, she was now quiet, subdued, and deflated. It's almost like she'd lost the will to live. She cried alone in her bedroom while Kyle and Emma were loading their belongings into the back of the moving van. My description of her might sound tragic, but don't think that means I have any sympathy for her. There's a reason she ended up this way. I hope she spends the rest of her life reflecting on that and uses the whole experience as an opportunity to become a better person. Who knows, maybe she can redeem herself yet. But if she does, she'll have to do it on her own. Me and my brother can't bring ourselves to forgive her for what she did, and we don't ever intend to see her again. However, in order to make sure she never causes Kyle and Emma any more trouble, we told her that if the time for her to enter an old folks' home ever comes, she just has to reach out and we'll be there to help her with the procedures. I was so shocked to find out my mom was bullying her own daughter-in-law. It's embarrassing to think we're even related. There's no doubt about it. Her life sucks now, but I don't feel sorry for her and I never will. Hopefully, she lives tormented by perpetual regret for what she did to Emma. She couldn't have bullied a nicer girl. As for Emma, she seems like a different person after finally escaping her tormentor. Now, she's always bright, bubbly, and full of cheer. Her and Kyle recently moved out of my place after finding a new apartment. We grew really close during the time she stayed with me while the two of them looked for a place. We could talk about anything, and I consider her one of my best friends. Oh, and hey, guess what? She messaged me with some news a couple of days ago. Emma's pregnant. I'm as happy for her as I would be if it was my own. I know giving birth to and raising a child can't be easy, and I'll always be there to support her as much as I can. I want Emma to think of me as a sister-in-law she can rely on, and not just that, but a friend. She's been through a lot, and if anyone deserves to be happy, it's her. Hi, Pat.
spend more time with his family? I don't think it's necessary to go out every night.
Well, I'm not always going out with the same people. I want to create a broad range of personal connections. It's especially important that I try really hard right now. This could decide whether I have an opportunity to get a promotion in the future.
Okay, I guess I understand then. Just make sure you don't drink too much.
Of course, I know that.
I know you can't help it today, but it would make me very happy if you tried coming home early more often. It's hard for me to be alone with your mom all the time.
Why? What do you mean?
I just told you about this the other day. Were you not paying attention?
Oh, is it about you feel like she's picking on you?
Yeah. For instance, she made me clean the entire storage room this morning. I can't help but to think that she's doing these things just to be mean.
What other things did she do to make you feel that way?
Well, she made me clean the storage room thoroughly last week as well. Despite that, I had to take out everything and wipe down the entire area all over again today for no apparent reason. It wasn't even dirty to begin with, and she hardly ever even uses that room anyway. I think she's just running out of places for me to clean.
Why don't you just make up some excuse and say no? You're only stressed out because you take things too seriously all the time.
But she would bother me all day if I didn't do as she says. She says things like, "Oh, I shouldn't have let you marry my son." Or, "I wish I could trade you off with a younger and more beautiful wife for my son." What's more, today she told me that because I'm in my 30s now, I'm old and hideous.
Well, isn't that how it works for every mother-in-law and daughter-in-law relationship? I'm sure everyone deals with these things. It's not like you're the only one with this problem, so don't worry about it.
How could you say things like that? Who am I supposed to trust if you're not even on my side?
Don't say things like that. I'm not picking sides. It's my mother we're talking about.
But it's really hard for me to hear her talk to me this way every single day. I'm trying my hardest to get her approval, but I think she's already made up her mind from the beginning that she doesn't like me. She's constantly making me do random, unnecessary tasks and talking down to me. Do you realize how difficult this is to deal with every day?
What do you want to do then?
When you're around, she doesn't treat me that way. That's why I want you to be home more often.
Well, I have to work, so it's not possible.
I know that. I guess I'd just like you to not go out after work as often, if you can. Or maybe you can try talking to your mom about this?
I don't know. I feel like I've been making her out to be a horrible person.
Well, she is picking on me.
It's not like she's hitting you. Just don't think about it. You're making it a way bigger deal than it is.
Can you say the same thing if this was happening to you?
I don't think it would bother me. I have to go through way harder things than this at work. My boss says mean things to me all the time. I can't even keep track of how many times I've been talked down to. But even then, I'm expected not to complain and keep a smile on my face. It annoys me that I have to listen to these types of complaints when you are mostly able to relax at home.
It's fine. Just forget it.
I'm glad you finally understand how selfish you're being. You have to realize how fortunate you are. Everything is provided for you. And the only thing you have to do is deal with my mom.
It wasn't my choice to quit my job. You were the one who asked me to quit and stay home with your mom.
But you ultimately made that decision. Don't complain about the choices you made for yourself. You should just appreciate the fact that you can stay home and not have any responsibilities. I don't want to hear about this ever again. Just solve these issues on your own. Everyone deals with it that way.
Hey, Max. How could you do this to me? Please unlock the door and let me in.
I told you I'm not letting you in the house anymore. I will ship all your stuff to your parents' house. You can sign the divorce papers later. Wait until you hear from me.
On top of suddenly asking me for a divorce, you kicked me out without notice. How could you do this to me?
Well, I'll let you have your personal items like your wallet.
Even so, shouldn't we at least talk about it?
What do you mean? You don't want to get divorced? Even though we barely see each other lately.
That's because you hardly ever come home. I would be lying if I said it never crossed my mind. But even then, isn't it wrong to ask me to leave without first talking about things?
It's hard to live in the same house as someone you are divorcing. Why do I have to keep taking care of you until you're ready to leave?
I didn't ask you to support me. All I wanted was to have a proper amount of time to gather my things. I don't think it's normal to kick your spouse out like that without even talking about things first.
It's meaningless to talk about it when all I want is divorce. We will see each other when you sign the divorce papers. Isn't that good enough?
How are you planning to meet up? You know my parents' home is really far from here, right?
Well, you can travel back here when it's time.
Seriously? How selfish are you?
Well, if you don't like it, then why don't you stay at a nearby hotel until the papers are ready? But don't even think about asking me to pay for it.
Is the reason you're divorcing me because there's someone else?
What are you talking about?
Well, your mother told me. She said that you will definitely bring home a young, pretty girl one of these days.
That's just something my mom made up.
Well, you had been staying out often. Sometimes even overnight. You said you'd been sleeping in the office, but I have trouble believing that.
Well, I was actually sleeping at a cheap motel near work.
I don't need to hear your lame excuses. In your suit pants pocket, I found a receipt from a woman's clothing store. And I noticed the credit card bill had charged for an expensive hotel. I'm pretty sure you even went on an overnight spa trip. So you're divorcing me because there's someone else, right?
Where's your proof?
Well, all those credit card bills and stuff.
That doesn't prove anything. I just stayed at the nice hotel and went to the spa trip on my own. Aren't you desperate? Now that we're getting divorced, you're just making things up to get alimony from me. It's exactly this type of behavior that is causing you to be dumped.
If you're so perfect, show me your smartphone.
What? Why would I do that?
If you're so clean, you have nothing to hide, right?
That's invading my privacy. You're such a joke. But I guess I'm glad you're this way. It makes me even happier that I'm divorcing you.
What would you do if I said I don't want a divorce?
Then we'll have to fight on a court. Either way, I don't want to live in the same house as you anymore. I feel very unpleasant every time I see you. I have zero feelings for you anymore. And yet I'm giving you a fair split of our assets. So there's no reason for the courts not accept this divorce.
You talk about a fair share, but there's hardly anything to begin with. All the money that we had saved, you wasted on unnecessary things.
Couldn't be helped, it was all necessary purchases. Think about what the neighbors might think with you just standing there. Please leave the property now. I'm never gonna let you in the house.
You're a horrible jerk until the end.
Didn't you mold me into this person? You clearly didn't do a good job performing your duties as a wife. My mother is saying she can't wait for me to find a wife that is way better than you.
Karma is gonna get you too badly if you keep acting this way.
What possible bad thing could happen to me by breaking up with such a useless wife? Maybe you should worry about yourself. Aren't you worried about whether a simple housewife like you can even get a proper job again?
I can always find work as long as I'm not too picky.
Yeah, I guess you can always find minimum paying jobs. Well, we just aren't made for each other. So stop with this nonsense and leave already. We're getting divorced because you were a bad wife. Just know that you aren't suited for marriage. And go on with your life with that lesson in mind. Hey Lisa, it's been a while.
What? Max?
Yeah, it's me. Happy to see you the other day. So that's why I thought I'd reach out and say hello.
Is that so? And, is there anything else? I'd appreciate it if you didn't bother me again for no reason.
Yeah, you don't need to be so cruel. I'm your ex-husband, for Pete's sake.
Yeah, ex-husband. We're just complete strangers now. I deleted your contact info and all our past messages. Because I have nothing to say to you anymore.
Well, why didn't you block me or something, then?
That's because I completely forgot that you even existed. I didn't even think to block you.
You don't need to be so harsh. I do feel bad about how I acted during our divorce. I realize now that it was a bit too one-sided.
I don't care about that at this point.
Oh, by the way, did I hear it right that you're working in the hospital now?
Why, is that where you saw me?
Yes. You don't have any nurse's license or anything, so I've heard that it's a tough job. How are you liking it?
I told you it's none of your business. Stop texting me if you don't have any specific reason. I will make sure to block you this time. And I will ignore you even if I bump into you at the hospital. I expect you to do the same. Bye then.
Wait! I do have something specific to tell you.
What is it?
Do you want me to support you financially?
What?
I'm sure you were tired of being used by nurses. You are already 40 after all. Aren't you tired of barely making ends meet every month? Wouldn't it be nice if you can go back to being a simple housewife?
I don't understand what you're trying to say. I never, ever want to live with you ever again.
Well, you can commute then.
Commute?
Mom got dementia, so I need you to come take care of her. She's been really bad lately, and it's getting too much for me to handle by myself.
Is that so?
I know we broke up, but she used to be your mother-in-law. Mom is also saying that she'd happily accept help if it's yours. I will include free breakfast, lunch, and dinner. How's that?
You are joking, right? Nobody would ever accept volunteer work like that. Besides, my mother-in-law passed away 3 years ago.
What? Passed away? You are the one with the jokes. She's very much alive.
I said my mother-in-law, meaning my husband's mother.
What? Are you married?
Yep.
It's only been 6 years.
You mean it's already been 6 years?
But you said your mother-in-law passed away 3 years ago. Does that mean you were already married 3 years ago?
Yes. Is that a problem?
Yeah, you were not as innocent as I thought.
What? Are you kidding me? You've got some nerve. You're the one who quickly remarried someone right after we got divorced.
You knew about my marriage?
Yeah, all the neighbors were talking about it. Saying you got a new wife right after you kicked me out. I also know that you guys broke up. I guess they thought I would like to know that as well.
Mom and I talked, and the young wife was completely useless, and I regret breaking up with you.
Well, I have zero regrets. I'm even happy that we broke up.
You don't need to pretend to be tough. He's the kind of husband who's still making you work after all. And he married you and you're already past your prime. He must be a miserable old man who can't even provide.
Who do you think you are?
Why don't you just leave the loser and come back to me? I will never make you work just to make ends meet. You can go back to doing simple house chores.
I've had enough of your nonsense. You are the old, miserable man who has no ability to provide for the family. Besides, I'm not working at the hospital.
What? But I saw you wearing an apron and helping an elderly person in a wheelchair. I also saw you talking to the hospital staff.
I was just taking my husband's relative out for a stroll. My husband owns that hospital. Of course I talk to the staff from time to time.
What? Your new husband is a doctor then?
That's right.
That's a pretty big hospital too.
Well, yeah, big enough to have an inpatient's ward.
I see. Then please let my mom be admitted to the hospital.
Don't you need a nursing home for her? That's not what we do at our hospital.
I'm sure you can do something about it if it's just one person.
It doesn't work that way. Quit joking around and look for a proper institute for her. What kind of person thinks to ask his ex-wife to take his mother-in-law in because you can't care for her yourself? I'm worried about your mental state.
I can't even afford any nursing homes. I have to pay a lot of alimony and my last wife loved expensive things. On top of that, because my mom isn't feeling well, she caused a lot of trouble with people and I'm still paying compensation for the damage she caused.
That has nothing to do with me.
Please help me! I haven't been able to go to work lately. And the house is a mess as well. I can only ask you for something like this.
Weren't you the one who ignored me when I asked you for help when your mother was picking on me? Didn't you say that it's my fault for taking things too seriously? And on top of all that, you cheated on me and kicked me out saying we're getting a divorce. So what makes you think that I'd want to help you after all that? How many times do you have to stomp all over me until you're satisfied?
I don't want to stomp all over you, it's just that you are the kindest person I know and Mom also agrees that you were the best wife for me.
It's too late for anything and I will never forgive either of you. You guys deserve this. A mother-in-law whose only joy in life is to pick on her daughter-in-law and a garbage husband who cheats on his wives. No one would ever want to help people who are like that.
Lisa, I'm sorry, I really am. It would make a big difference if you could help even just a little bit. Please help me take care of her. I promise I will come up with a solution to make it worth your while.
The reason why nobody's willing to help you right now is because of how you have treated others in the past. You did it to yourself, so deal with it.
If I could deal with this myself, I wouldn't be asking. I've never paid any attention to what it takes to run a house. All I know is my work. Please, help me. I will do anything. I'll even grovel at your feet if that helps. Please help.
Stop whining and go ask for advice from City Hall. They will help even a piece of garbage like you. Oh, and one last thing. I wasn't a bad wife who isn't suited for marriage, because I'm happily married right now. My only mistake was marrying a defective garbage husband. Right after I sent him that message, I made sure to block him this time. And apparently he caused a scene by storming into my husband's hospital and demanding to see me. Of course, we called the police and had him removed from the property. We made him promise that he will never come near me nor the hospital. And we also informed his boss about the incident as well. That boss is actually Brady, the colleague Max used to look down on. I guess it ended up being Max who never received any promotion. I really regret marrying a loser like him, but I'm trying to think that I have my happiness right now because of the past. I have no idea what happened to them since then, but I happened to walk by their house a few years later, and it looked very run down, like it was in ruins. Anyway, it's none of my business how they are anymore. I just want to always remember to appreciate my husband, my family, and people around me for loving and supporting me, and I want to cherish this happiness in life forever. Hey, Cody, it's been a week since we last talked about it. Can you sign the divorce paper already? I'm gonna put Mia down for bed early tonight, so maybe we can do it then?
You mean it's only been a week? You have to realize that it came out of the blue for me. You gotta give me some time to properly think about this.
I want a divorce.
I know that.
So what's the point of giving you some time to think?
Maybe nothing, but are you sure we can't work things out anymore? If it's something I did wrong, you can tell me and I'll fix it, so please. Can you give this a second thought?
This is the result of me thinking for a long time. And it's not because you did anything wrong.
Then why?
Like I told you the other day, it's me. I just don't have any feelings for you anymore.
That just means that you don't find me attractive as a man anymore, right?
I guess.
How about as a person? Don't you still love me like family? Or can you not stand me so much that we can't even live together anymore?
No, it's not like that, but I think this would happen sooner or later. I gave this a lot of thought too, you know? Mia is only 5, and it would be better for her if I could find a way to work things out as a family. But I couldn't.
Please give me a bit more time with her. At least until she's old enough.
Old enough? What exactly do you mean by old enough?
Like high school, maybe?
So you're asking me to live with someone I don't love for that long? Isn't that a living hell for both me and Mia? Wouldn't it be better for her if we just did this while she's still young?
I'm sorry. I let my selfish desire get the best of me.
No, I'm sorry too. Even though you're a good husband and a good father for Mia, this is all happening because of my feelings, so I'm really sorry, Cody.
I guess there really isn't anything I can say to change your decision anymore, is there?
No.
Okay, I will sign the divorce paper. As for Mia's custody, who should have her?
What do you mean who? Of course she's coming with me. She's only 5 years old. It's always better to stay with the mother while they're young. And you can't be with her during the day even if you take her.
You might be right, but I can always look for daycare or a babysitter.
No, definitely not. I don't want to compromise my time with Mia. I promise I will raise her properly, and I have no intention to look for a new relationship for a while. I will prioritize her at least until she's in elementary school. And I will only start thinking about work or relationship after that.
I'm planning on using as much time as I can for Mia too. And I'm sure my parents would be more than happy to help as well.
You do realize that I'm Mia's mom and I gave birth to her, right?
Yes, and I'm her dad!
We are not the same. I carried her inside me for 9 months. I'm the one who had to be in labor. Even if we were to fight over her custody, they will always favor the mother anyways. I will make sure to set up frequent visitation for you two to meet, so can't we just agree on this?
Fine.
I know you care about her deeply, so I will make sure to still ask for your opinions on how to raise Mia. And don't worry, I will make sure she knows you are her father.
Okay, I guess it could be worse. You can have her custody then.
Thanks. Let's talk about the details on alimony and child support later when you come home. I know you're in the middle of work right now, so...
Yeah, I should go back. Say hi to Mia for me. Hey Jessica, about this month's visitation. How long do I have to wait until you let me see Mia? It's already the middle of the month and I still haven't heard anything from you.
I'm sorry, I haven't been feeling well enough to reach out.
Oh, are you sick? Are you okay? I can take care of Mia until you feel better if that's the case.
No, it's okay, it's not that bad. I'm getting better now anyway.
Well, you could have at least replied to my text then.
Sorry, I just forgot. Oh, but this month might not work for us actually.
Why not?
We're planning on visiting my parents for a while.
I see. How long are you planning on staying there for?
Well, I haven't decided on the exact dates, but probably about a month.
What? That long?
Yep. Because it'll be difficult to have a long holiday like this once Mia's in school. And I'm planning on going back to work pretty soon, so this might be our last chance to relax together for a while.
I see.
But because we have to skip this month, I promise to let you spend more time with her next month.
I guess that works. But please keep your promise this time. I am paying for her child support after all. I'm doing my part.
Of course! I really appreciate you supporting us. I get to stay with her at home because of that.
Even if we are apart, I'm still her dad. I'm just doing my fair share, so you don't need to thank me.
I do hear a lot of stories about ex-husbands not paying any child support. So I guess I'm very fortunate and I shouldn't take this for granted.
Well, those guys are wrong for not supporting their children.
Yeah, I guess so. Hey, Cody. I know I'm not in a position to ask you for anything when I haven't even been able to set up your visitations, but can I ask you for a favor?
Favor?
You know how I told you that I wasn't feeling well for a while? The medical bills haven't been cheap because of that. And oftentimes I wasn't well enough to even prepare any meals, so I had to order takeout. Because of that, we're pretty tight this month, and I was wondering if you could help us a little more this time?
What? I thought I'm giving you more than enough every month. And aren't you receiving childcare from the government as well?
I'm sorry.
That's not really answering my questions. So, how much do you need then?
You're helping me?
I don't have a choice. I have to think about Mia.
Oh, thank you. $300 should cover everything for now.
Okay, I will wire that amount later.
Oh, thank you. I really appreciate it.
It's only this time. Also, when are you planning on moving out from that condo? I'm still paying for the mortgage there, so I'd like to sell it as soon as possible.
I am looking for a place, but I haven't had any luck. But I promise we'll find a place before Mia is in school for sure. Just give me a bit more time, please.
Okay, if that's the case. But I'm not waiting longer than that.
Of course.
Oh, speaking of which, about our neighbors, the Williams.
Oh, what about them?
I bumped into them on the street the other day. And they were wondering why they haven't seen me around lately. But I was in a rush to go meet one of my customers for work, and I didn't have time to explain about our divorce.
I don't think they need to know.
Well, yeah, but I did exchange contact info with Mr. Williams in the past.
Yeah, I guess you helped him with his computer once.
Yeah, that's why I kind of felt obligated to let him know.
But Mia and I wouldn't stay here for much longer. I don't think it's necessary at this point. I will let them know if they ask me directly. How's that? I don't think we need to go out of our way to tell them about this unless they ask.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Though I do feel bad that I couldn't give them a proper goodbye. But I guess I can talk to them if they ever reach out.
Yeah, I think that's good. Well, I think I should prepare to put Mia in bed soon. I'll make sure to set up a video call for you to talk with her sometime.
Yeah, thanks. Any time works for me as long as it's not during my work hours.
Hi, Cody. It's been a while. This is your neighbor, Catherine Williams. Hopefully, I have the right number.
What, Mrs. Williams? Yes, you do have the right number, but is everything okay?
I got your number from my husband since this is an emergency. He's away on business and I know the situation better, so...
Emergency?
Yes, you and Jessica both should know that it is very irresponsible to let a 5-year-old stay at home all alone like this. I don't like to interfere and tell you how to raise your child, but this is outrageous. She's here with me right now. It doesn't matter even if you think you have a good reason.
Actually, Mrs. Williams, we got divorced a while ago and I don't live there anymore.
You guys got divorced?
Yes, I wanted to tell you the other day. But I didn't have time to explain things properly since I was on my way to see my customer.
Oh, is that so? I'm sorry, I didn't know.
Don't be. You are right to be upset about this. Could you tell me more about what's happening? Is it true Mia was staying home all by herself? I'm sure Jessica is around, no?
I didn't see her anywhere. I saw Mia playing by herself in the hallway around 3 in the afternoon today. And I asked her what she's doing, but she started crying saying there's nobody home. I felt bad, but I let myself in to make sure there really isn't anyone home. So I left a note saying she'll be here with me and waited until now, but...
You decided to reach out because neither of us came by to pick her up.
Yes, that's right. But I didn't even imagine that you two were broken up. Do you think she left because she was devastated about the divorce? There must have been some important reason for her to leave Mia all alone like this.
I don't think our divorce is the reason. Since she's the one who asked for a divorce. That's why I had to move out.
Oh, is that what happened? I'm sorry to hear that. And I apologize for jumping to conclusions.
No, anybody would be shocked to find a 5-year-old being left all alone at home. I'll head over there right now to pick her up.
She's already asleep, but it'll be better if she's with you. I wonder what happened to Jessica, though. Maybe if you check inside the house, you'll find something that I didn't. The house was, a bit unusual, to be honest.
Unusual? What do you mean by that?
It looked like she planned to be away for a while now that I think about it. There were lots of drinks and snacks stacked on the table. And there was trash everywhere.
What?
Anyways, you'll know what I mean if you see it. I think you should go check to see what's going on before you talk to Jessica.
Hey Jessica, it's almost time for my video call with Mia. Are you around? Can I call you now?
Hey, Cody, I'm sorry. Can we skip the call today?
What? Why?
It seems like Mia came down with a cold, so I already put her in bed today.
I see. Can I talk to your parents then? You are still at their place right now, right?
I am, but why do you need to talk to them?
Because I haven't had a chance to properly talk to them during the divorce.
You don't need to. It'll be very awkward for both you and them. So you really don't need to worry about it.
I would still like to talk to them.
They're also saying they'd rather not.
You are lying.
I'm not lying. They really are saying they don't want to.
They're here with me, actually.
What?
So, you lied about staying with your parents.
I'm sorry. I actually went on a trip with a friend. You know how I asked you for a bit more financial help? Because of that, it was difficult for me to tell you about the trip.
Where did you take off to for 2 weeks? Leaving Mia at home all alone? The reason why you couldn't let me talk to her on the video call is because you finally realized that she's not home anymore, correct?
How? Did you take her with you? Is that why she's not home?
Answer my questions. Where have you been for the past 2 weeks?
I'm sorry.
I don't need your apologies right now. Just tell me everything.
The part about me taking a trip with a friend is the truth. And the part about leaving Mia at home by herself as well.
What were you thinking? We are lucky that our neighbor, Mrs. Williams, noticed that Mia is all alone, but what do you think would have happened if she really had to stay all by herself for 2 weeks? Did you really think a 5-year-old can survive?
Well, Mia is pretty mature for a 5-year-old, and I did leave enough food for her, so...
She can't even open a water bottle by herself. And you only left a bunch of snacks, not food. Or do you consider those to be proper meals?
I'm sorry. I'm really sorry.
I'm going to talk to Child Services about this.
What?
I'm taking custody of Mia as well.
No, please. Please, you can't do that.
You did this to yourself. You shouldn't have asked to take her if you weren't going to be there for her in the first place. You failed as a mother.
Please? I'll give you the custody. So please don't make this into a big deal. Please.
Are you asking me this because you don't want your boyfriend to find out?
How do you know about him?
I searched the house and I went to pick Mia up. You left your old phone you were using while we were married. And I saw that your lock screen was a picture of you and some guy. So, you wanted a divorce because you guys were having an affair, right?
No, it's not like that. It wasn't an affair. He didn't know that I was married.
But you knew that it was an affair.
No, I didn't do anything.
I'm sure I can find out more if I ask the guy. I'm heading over there right now. Tell him that I want to talk to him.
No, please. He doesn't even know that I have a daughter. And he has no idea that I was married. I was going to let you have Mia once he proposed. So please, you can have her. I'll even pay you back some child support payments, so please don't tell him anything.
Did you do all this just to get child support from me in the first place?
No, of course not. I just didn't want to be separated from Mia.
How am I supposed to trust anything you say now? I will never forgive you for leaving Mia at home all alone. I'm definitely holding you accountable for this.
I'm so sorry. I'll never do this ever again.
Of course not! I will never let this happen again.
Yes, so please, please leave him out of this. I'm begging you. I will do anything.
Why would I listen to someone who's not my wife nor a proper mother to my child? I don't even think you are a human being for being able to leave a 5-year-old alone like that. You better learn a lesson from betraying and hurting both Mia and I like this. And don't ever call yourself a mother ever again! Right after that, her parents and I went over to her place to confront her directly. The reason why I was able to go there so quickly is because I knew that she would come home on the day we had the video call scheduled. Once we were inside, her father took her phone and made her unlock it to talk to the boyfriend about all this. And we found out that he really had no idea about our marriage or about Mia. After we told him about what Jessica did to Mia, he broke things off with her and told her that he never wants to see her again. Jessica burst into tears after being told that, but her parents kept scolding her, and they made her promise to pay me back some child support, to give me custody and pay child support going forward as well. After that, her parents brought her to their home with them. The reason why they did that is because they couldn't trust that she would pay me back or make the child support payments if she was left unsupervised. I don't know if she's still there with them or not, but she is making payments every month without fail. I asked her parents how she's doing once, but they told me that it's better I don't know. So I haven't asked them since. I don't care what happens to her as long as she stays away from us. As for Mia, it's unfortunate that she had to go through all that while she's so young, but now she's living a happy life with me and my parents. It seems like there were a lot of times she had to be alone when she lived with Jessica, so she followed me around everywhere for a while, but she's settled in now. There's always someone home here now, so I think she's enjoying that. But a shocking experience is hard to shake, even if you were very young. I'm going to do everything in my power to overwrite all those sad and scary memories with happy and fun memories.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel.